but they're getting greedy. They
They said, go out there and rob these houses and bring back the bounty, and then that'll pay your way.
Because Republicans who get endorsement from Georgia carry that they mean anything.
You can't sit on the sidelines any longer. You must get involved in the game. This is your sign. All right, everybody, welcome to Small Town Underground. It is December the 27th, 2024, and this is our special year-end review of 2024. So hopefully making this an annual thing. And with me tonight is Jennifer Tudor, Jonathan Stout, and Ray Blankenship. And so just want to send a special shout-out to Tyler Martin this evening. He could not be with us. He had some family in town, and so we miss him, and but the show must go on. So I hope everybody is doing well tonight. We're going to get started here in just a second, and everything is up and running. And if anything happens, this is being recorded. We will make sure to release it in its full glory if the internet god decides to kick us off. So good evening. Welcome, guys. How are y'all?
Excellent.
Good.
Good.
Great.
I'm so glad that you guys are here tonight. This is one of my most favorite shows of the year. This is why I wanted to do this, was just so that I really don't care about like other people as much as I care about some of the closest people to me. So if you're new to the channel, the content, all of us here started in Second Amendment movements in our area long before we were running our mouth about the politics. And so we're going to try to make this a yearly tradition where we bring in the new year with some of my most trusted confidants in this room, people that they'll help you hide the body. So appreciate it.
Get in the truck. That was a one-time thing.
Exactly.
I forgot what I did with that shovel, though.
Right. And it's important to have people like that. I will say that in this in the political world, you don't have you don't have the luxury of being able to trust people a whole lot, especially in the politics. Everybody tries to come at you with that friendly handshake and that smile, and they're going to be your best friend and tell you exactly what you want to hear, and then they're going to stab you in the back nearly every time. But it's good to have people that you can trust, people that you can call, and so I got a room full of them. I'm beyond blessed. So.
Same here, brother.
Yeah, I'm very
So-
thankful for y'all.
Yeah, so I just we'll go around the room while I'm tweaking the knobs and making sure everything is good, and you can kind of introduce yourself to the community. I'm sure everybody knows most of y'all, but just go ahead and start, Ray.
All right. Well, my name is Ray Blankenship, and I'm with the Catoosa County Second Amendment Sanctuary Group. I'm the administrator there, and we try to keep up with all the legislation and everything that's coming down the pipe and everything, and especially on the federal level and the state level. So, but there's some things that come down on the local level too that we try to keep up with. We're very active in our community, and we just want to make sure that everybody has that Second Amendment right to and that freedom to carry their firearms. And Georgia's finally a constitutional carry state, and that was awesome to get that done and taken care of. And it took so long to get it to fruition, but there was a lot of people that was behind that, a lot of fighters, a lot of people that had enough, and we all came together, and that's what you kind of see here.
That's right.
Tonight in this room is all these, and some people that are not here tonight, Tyler being one of those, but we had a lot of counties and stuff that got really involved in making sure that we had that Second Amendment right. So. But anyway,
That's right.
I'm also a pro-life activist as well, and I speak, wherever they want me to speak or whatever, and do whatever they need me to do. But just a huge activist, and I'm not the guy that gets back behind, Facebook and the keyboard. I'm the person that actually does some stuff and tries to push people and trying to get things done and work with others to get things accomplished. So, and it takes that in our community to get things done, Roy. You got to get out there and you got to do things.
You're right. I spent a lot of my time kind of in the gray.
Yeah.
A lot of my time really plotting for the end of the world, and just I was going to be a Rambo out in the woods where I'm going to drag my family out in the woods, and we were going to be like Gilligan's Island. We were going to create this fortress, army of one, and I kind of showed that that's pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
furthermore, that's kind of the coward's way to do it. We have to at some point come out and stand up, become an activist, right? And you think that word activist is sort of a dirty word sometimes, but it's not. It's what we must do, because we spend most of our time playing catch up or shielding the defense, when we need to be the ones on the offense. We need to be the ones that are leading the charge into to bringing this nation back out of its this idiocratic state, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I'm right there with you.
It's become obvious that
Sure.
no one's going to do it for you.
That's right.
That's where we're
Yeah.
at. So,
Well, Jonathan?
Yeah, Jonathan Stout, small business owner, pest control business owner. And I just, same thing, was in the gray there forever, and realized that when I wasn't alone, that's the big part for me. And I was also had that lone wolf mentality for the longest time. But coming out into the 2A side of it, and then realizing, wow, whoa, hey, you can actually do something, get your voice out there, get heard, if you can't exactly put yourself in front of a microphone,
That's right.
you do a lot of things behind the scenes that can help a lot.
And just showing up.
Show up.
Yeah.
Show up. That's the first step right there, and get you going.
That's right. Showing
Get you
up.
going. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, how many years now have we been supporting each other, even through everything? Like, how many years now have we been coming back to the table, and everybody, we go our own way, and we try to do things where we can, but we continue to support each other,
Sure.
And more people need to do that. And we're picking up a few more people, right?
Yeah.
Every single, month or something. I think I'm working with like 4 different groups right now on ways that we can just make things better,
Yeah.
So it's
With
a
all the
wonderful thing.
information finally coming,
Oh yeah,
out publicly
Can't
and not
stop
just
it.
on alternative media,
that's right.
hopefully more people will realize that Trump can't fix this
Oh, no.
completely.
Prepare to self-rescue.
Freedom is not free. It never has been. And it's up to the people.
That's right.
The people have to be active. The people have to be aware of what's going on. And that means getting out of your comfort zone to save your country
That's right.
or learn to speak manganese.
Absolutely.
Perfect segue. So who are you, Jennifer?
I'm Jennifer Tudor. I think I was born for this. I'm more on the activism side now. I've been into the political side, but I'm maybe a little too radical for for the political side. Just not really radical. I just believe in God. I believe in the Constitution. I'm pro-life, pro-freedom.
Wow,
And
that
everything that
is
goes
radical.
around with that, well, that's radical
It
according
is
to
nowadays.
some. And
It's the counterculture.
Yep.
it's, and I get a little hot around the collar sometimes, and I get really outspoken. And some people, I have plenty of messages. Jennifer, you need to calm down. You're making us all look bad. So I speak for me. I don't speak for anybody else. I speak for myself.
That's right.
So, but I'm a caretaker. I take care of a wonderful little lady. They've adopted me just like their own. I'm blessed, really blessed with that. I've had to take a step back this year. Most everybody knows, y'all all know.
Yeah, we lost a good man.
Doug in February, and so I had to take a step back from all the political stuff. And it's been 10 months, and I'm ready to get back involved on some avenue. And I'm sure the activism is more up my alley than
Sure.
the party stuff. Which I'm the president of the H2 County Republican Assembly, which we're just forming our chapter, and don't know where that's going to take us, but we're going to find out.
That's good.
There you go.
That's good. Yeah, we lost a good patriot this year, Doug Tudor. That was a huge shock, and I don't want to bring, I just want to say that I think we all loved him. And he was always so super supportive of the group. Even if you had to drag him there, he would find a
showed
way
up. When I needed
to
him,
have
he
a
always
smile
showed
on
up.
his face. In a lot of ways, I think Doug was a little more ahead of us because in the end, he's just like, yeah, this is same old. And I get that, right? But he never stopped. And that's how I feel a lot of the time. It's like, just keep beating your hands against the wall, but you can't stop. Eventually, that wall is going to fall. So,
Yeah.
but we all love Doug, and that was a big shock. So,
He was a big support for me. And
yeah.
so
Yeah. Well,
I'm finding my way.
I know you are, and we're been trying to support you and
I
check on you and make
y'all,
sure
all the prayers and
yes,
all y'all have kept in touch with me and prayed for me, and I really
Mm-hmm.
greatly appreciate it because prayer and God's the only thing that's got me through the last 10 months.
that's right.
Amen.
Amen. Moving. Just, I don't know we don't really have a set agenda tonight, folks. We didn't write a script or anything like that. But we're the kind of the basis of the show is we're just looking at 2024, kind of a year in review. This has been an absolutely crazy year. It's been a crazy 4 years. And I'd like to pick these guys' brains, and get some predictions for 25 here. But I just kind of want to go around the room and everybody just give me your take on 2024. So I guess we'll start back with you, Ray. What do you think, man? Here we are.
Oh man, I tell you what, I don't even know where to start with 2024. It was such a nightmare,
In a lot of ways, yeah.
I look back at all the political things that was going on, especially with what was going on in Catoosa County and with
That's
us
right.
and the GOP and all that. And, we still haven't got all that settled, but, I think
The accountability, right?
yeah, the accountability rule and all that. So that's been something that's really been kind of weighing on a lot of us. And then you got taxes. I mean, the school board and all that. That was probably the most devastating part on our end.
Right.
Because, I'm not boasting. I made a pretty good amount of money this year, but I'm looking back going, where did it all go? And I made a post on Facebook today about it. It was just like, it just keeps weighing on my mind. I'm like, where is my money going? And so taxes have been a huge thing, especially local taxes. I think, everybody's taxes all over the country have went up. And
Yes.
it's just not getting any better. And it's just like, inflation, all the money that's going out. And I think next year, I'm going to start keeping all my receipts for everything that I buy and find out how much sales tax I end up, spending, because I have put 25% of my income. I got to looking at it. It's 25% of my income to federal and state taxes this year.
Undoubtedly.
That is crazy.
Yep.
So then I'm going, what else am I being taxed on? And you got, and that's the thing about it. I mean, I got up with church and everything. I was doing a little preaching one night, and I preached on that, and I was like, we're just doing the basic necessities, right? We've got, our phone bill, our water, electric, life insurance, and homeowners insurance, and all the things that you got to have there, just the essentials. And we ended up putting a new roof on the house this year, and but we took that out of savings, and so we've had to repair a couple cars and things of that nature. But I'm like, where's all my money going?
Sure.
So I'm hoping that this next year Trump can get some stuff going to where we're not having all this inflation and gas prices and food. I mean, my goodness, we go through some food. And but that's been kind of like probably the worst thing that's really happened to us.
Yeah.
And I know it's affecting everybody else because everybody else is kind of commenting on Facebook about it too.
Well, you talk about taxes, right? So I'm working on a little special report for the Georgia Tax Court, which recently got passed. And if you go back to November the 5th, it was one of the referendums that was on the bill. And you're scratching your head going, what is a Georgia Tax Court to begin with, right? I've never been to one. But doing research on it, I come to realize that most of the representatives that I talked to about it, they didn't even remember it, really. It was a bill based on another bill that was passed, but the referendum had to pass, and then they didn't realize either that once this referendum was voted into law, that it automatically became part of the Georgia Constitution, right? And I'm not saying that this is a horrible, horrible thing. What it's basically doing is taking this tax tribunal out of the Fulton County, Georgia, and putting it into some tax court system where they're going to have new tax judges and all this stuff. But all of this talk about tax, right? We pay state income tax. We pay our property taxes. We pay sales tax. We pay hotel. All of this talk about taxes. And the best thing that our state legislature can do is come up with a new tax court to make it easier to challenge your taxes. Like, why do we not have representatives talking about eliminating taxes, right?
I
mean,
that.
That's the whole. They want to pat themselves on the back. Well, we're going to take this horrible tax tribunal out of the system so you can make it easier to pay your taxes. No. You're missing the point here. We are being taxed to death in this state. All over the country, but again, and I didn't want to get off on that tangent, but you brought up taxes, and this is some questions that legislators are going to have to start answering in the state of Georgia. We don't even want a tax court. We don't want a tax tribunal. We want our taxes cut back. We literally, over the course of about 2 or 3 years, have made a $15 billion surplus in this state.
Yeah.
Yet our millage rates get raised.
Yeah.
We've got people moving in all over the place. We've got growth like you've never seen, yet our property taxes are going up to pay for schools.
Yeah.
Am I missing something here?
Well,
What about the
It's
new
not
taxes
affecting
coming
them.
in? No,
Yeah,
it's not. It's
right.
not. But I'm sorry.
I'm still trying to figure out why we're paying property taxes. I
Exactly.
bought that property. It's mine. But it's not mine. I'm just
It's
renting
not.
it.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, I'm renting that
You will
property.
own nothing and be happy.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We all need to educate ourselves on a alloidial title.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can,
Because
you
let
can
me
get
tell you
a
what's
title
coming.
to your property if you know what you're doing. And I don't know. I have researched a little on it.
You can do
And there
land
is a
patents.
type of title, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
land patents
let
and
me tell you
stuff.
what's coming. You're going to have Georgia tax courts set up everywhere. I don't know how everywhere it's going to
We're going
be,
to have to pay tax to
but
pay
you're
for that.
you're going to be able to
That's
eat.
it.
You're going to be able to make. It's going to make it easier for you to go and dispute your taxes, right? But the new judges will have to be tax attorneys. They're going to make $174,000 a year and have an entire staff of people waiting to help you dispute your taxes.
More government.
Okay? More government.
That always
More
helps,
government.
right?
Oh yeah.
That
So
always-
No.
I've got a special report coming. I'm still working on it, and hopefully it'll release in January. But my goodness, man,
Yeah, that's why I voted
not
no
one
on that
person,
one.
maybe one person I can speak of that talks about eliminating taxes, and nobody's listening to him. But none of our legislation is concerned about taxes.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, what about you? You tell me your 2024.
Man, that's where I was too. I was a small business owner. Yeah.
Sure.
I was like, man, I did really good this year. I did good. No, you didn't.
No.
Mhm.
No, you didn't. No,
I know.
nope.
And the inflation of
Oh, it's
everything.
insane.
They
The
want to
numbers
give you.
look good though.
They
I mean,
want to
the
give
numbers
you
look
these
really good.
numbers. Well, inflation only rolls by 7%, yet you're paying 30 to 50% more in the store. I mean, that's how in the world does 7% translate to that much?
I was somewhere around 15 to 18, somewhere around in there.
Yeah,
When you start calculating, really look at it. Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy to
Oh,
me,
it's insane.
and it's no end in
Absolutely.
sight at this moment, right?
Yeah. Well, of course, they're talking about tariffs. You know.
Sure.
You know, and I was like, people got to understand that that's going to be rough
Mm-hmm.
to begin with. And a
Right.
lot of people don't get it and understand even how it works. But I was like, we ran off a tariff system before.
Right.
We can do it
Right.
again. But
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, taxes yet again. When you file your taxes, why does it have to be so complicated? Why could we not simplify? I am a huge proponent of like the 10-10-10, right? 10% across the board, and make it that easy, and everybody pays a fair share of 10% in every state, whatever you want to do it, and eliminate all of this crap. And that means every corporation down to every nonprofit, everybody. Do you not think that something that simple would solve a lot of these issues, right?
Well,
But
that'll
they-
benefit us and not them.
Sure.
But
Right.
they want you to mess up.
Right.
Exactly.
They want you to
Complicated
get
on
screwed.
purpose,
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. I was like,
So-
why don't they teach it in school?
Huh.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Huh, that's strange. Yeah.
Yeah, if they did the 10-10-10, they wouldn't be able to grow government like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, obviously, I don't want any taxes, but I'm not a stupid, right? In the reality, we understand we've got to pay. We're living here. I mean, we don't have to, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But why could we not? That's what I'm a big advocate for that. That's
Yeah,
what's coming up in
definitely,
the next
because
legislation because
everybody should
Yeah.
should pay. It shouldn't just fall on the people who
yeah,
work in the property
and if you
owners.
just scale it back to a single whatever number it is, and across the board, you don't have to have all of these loopholes, these liabilities. You just straight up. That's what you pay. That's what you owe, and it's it. Yeah.
I was looking at some numbers the other day, and it was like only 48% of the U.S. population actually even pays in,
Sure.
or, at all, as it contributes to it whatsoever. And you're like, what am I doing? Why?
I know.
Get out, work harder. What?
Well, and that's part of our ignorance is, like, for example, my ignorance this past year, had no idea on this earth that we had two separate millage rates, and that the school has its own millage rate, and they
Yeah.
can raise it, lower it, do whatever they want, and if nobody likes it, well, tough on you.
They will.
And then if you come back at them and say, no, we can't do this, then they say, well, the state was going to arrest me if we don't.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is ludicrous, y'all. This is
Yeah.
ludicrous. This is how it works. And all it took was just a little bit of push to find out. And now, like, the jig is up. Like, everybody knows now.
Yeah, they all
Yeah,
know.
at least I hope they know.
Well, they do. And
They're
I
making
can't
it.
show you numbers, but pretty much this was a piece of paper handed down from the state, nearly every county, leveraging taxes across the entire state. You go to so many counties have reported back in where it was between the last 2 years, about a 30% tax rise. Now, they can come in each county and bring their specialist with their YouTube presentation and show you exactly what they need to do. And then you're like, wait a minute, what about this? It's like, no, you're trying to hurt the kids. Nobody's buying this anymore.
There
But
you go.
you start talking to people in different counties down south and west and east and find out, well, everybody's taxes went up. Well, I'll be, the jig is up.
Well, you were there at the Catoosa County
Oh, yeah.
School Board meetings that we were having
Mhm.
over the increase in taxes and stuff. And, that first night, it was incredible because a lot of the people from Catoosa County came out
Mhm.
and filled that room. And they were a
Yeah.
bunch of angry people.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, this is great. They're going to get the message right. But what happened was the second night, all the school teachers showed up.
Mhm.
And they're all advocating for, higher taxes. And then we got to looking, and I think a couple of people from Hamilton County actually got up and spoke.
Mm.
Yeah, saying, y'all need to raise the taxes, pretty much is what they were telling us. Don't get rid of our programs,
Yeah.
because they were worried about, their programs getting cut or whatever. And so I'm sitting back watching all this go down and thinking, man, it was a whole different tempo too.
Sure.
That was another thing. And I just kept thinking to myself, and we didn't know that these people were from Hamilton County that was speaking either. And we didn't find that out till I think a couple days later.
Of course not.
So, here we are going, I don't need somebody from Tennessee telling me that they want to raise my property taxes. And, I don't care if you teach here or not, that's good for you, but not good for us.
Sure.
You don't have any skin in the game. This is all a win-win for you.
And what did they raise your taxes there about? What, close to 30%, about
Yeah.
28%?
Yeah, 28.67, I think is what it was.
And see, so here I am, Mr. Activist. I'm ready to ramp up on my county, right? And then I find out, well, they're only raising it 7%. I'm like,
Oh,
well,
that's
the year
great.
the year before they raised it like 22, 23%. So guess what?
It equaled
Within the
out.
last 2 years, it's called equalization,
Yep.
which I've gotten quite familiar with that word. But
And don't think for 1 minute either, Roy, that the next budget hearing that they have, that they're not going to do it again.
listen, man, you don't care about the kids, do you? Oh my goodness, them poor school children. It's the craziest thing, there's a little bit of just, talking about fluoride in the water and fluoride. I'm not getting off into this tangent, but the main thing is, fluoride is put in the water basically because of the teeth, right? But it far outweighs the benefits.
So they say.
It's a neurotoxin, right?
Yeah.
But that's what the argument is on the side to keep fluoride. Is, well, we want our children's teeth to be happy. And I'm like, your children are sipping on freaking Code Reds and playing Call of Duty. They're not drinking water,
Nope.
okay? Don't give me that silly little argument about that whenever you know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that it is a neurotoxin directly going straight up to your brain. But
I would
again,
rather have to get false teeth than have my IQ drop way down low.
Right.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
but sorry, I
My
didn't mean
teeth are
that.
pretty
But we care about the children here, okay?
Yeah, we
It
do.
seems like they want to use the kids as a shield. But,
They
Well,
always
of
do.
course. Anytime you
I've
go
gotta-
against the school board, you're hating on the children.
I know.
You got me with the fluoride because I do pest control and I've been doing it for 27 years. And
Right.
I love to find old canisters and stuff like that. I found some rodent powder you would put out. They would just track across it, and that's all it take to kill it. Of course, it's not on the
Sure.
market. I found fluoride cans for treating lice, roaches, and you could also use it on vegetables or something like that. I'm like,
Well, I
in
mean,
a powdered form.
what is the
Okay.
truth?
Skull and crossbones,
Fluoride-
and I'm like,
Derived from fluorine, one of the most dangerous elements in our chart. Yet it's a byproduct of a chemical reaction
Yeah.
that some company was like, well, let's just put this in here, And we've been propping up chemical companies ever since.
red dye 40.
There
Yeah.
you
There's
go.
another one,
Yep.
But
Well,
yeah,
I think RFK is about to.
right. And
He's
so
about to open
I
people's
hope so.
eyes, and
Yes.
a lot of people are going to be really, really shocked.
I
Because
believe so.
they haven't paid attention. They didn't listen.
That's right.
I mean,
Now, before we keep going, I'm giving you I want you tell us your 2024. So
2024 was half of it was a haze for
Mm-hmm.
me. So coming back into things, you know, I went from having Doug to not having Doug, so I'm down to one income.
Right.
So I really felt it, and I really have to watch what I do, you know, because we are not rich,
Right.
you know. We work paycheck to paycheck. He was a lot better at saving than I am. So, but I mean, I'm learning that, you know, I have to now, which I'm not able to save anything, but I'm able to stay afloat.
Right.
But you know, November was just freaking fabulous.
Yeah, it
Because
is.
I mean, you know, we were all up here at the watch party.
That's
and,
right.
You know, all the news on Telegram was like 2 hours ahead of
Oh, yes.
the mainstream media. They were just
Yep.
dragging that out. You know, like they knew,
They knew.
and they were still trying to get the viewers and keep everybody scared.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know. So that was just a wonderful night. What a huge relief. You know, thank God for His hand of mercy one more time.
That's right.
Yeah. Amen.
But just recently, this study has come out that gives me some
Oh, yes.
vindication. Because, you know, I was
That's
censored.
right.
I was kicked off of Facebook. I was totally deleted from Facebook. They deleted my business pages and my personal page because I said the dirty word, you know, and I was right all along.
You were.
The jibby jab is transferring off to everybody
That's
else
right.
that comes around, and you know, and I've asked several people this. Do you understand that, you know, they trap wild animals, and they bring them in and they give them whatever. Well, they go back out into the wild, and it's intended
Yeah.
to spread
Sure.
onto other animals. So, you know, if you think they wouldn't do that to us, you know,
Got another thing
you need to take the
coming.
blinders off because they're not our friend. They're not here to help us.
No.
You know, and I mean, I have been called every kind of name in the book and ridiculed by so many people and just basically cut off by a lot of people just because, you know, I talked about it. I know what happened to me, you know,
Right.
and
You're a conspiracy theorist.
yeah, I'm a big tinfoil hat wearing.
Well, I mean,
I'll keep mine on too.
Yeah,
the
gonna
jar is
put it a
emptying
little
out.
tighter.
Yeah, it
I mean,
is.
so this is a perfect opportunity to go into this. So we've known each other a long time, and we've all tried to always use like common sense logic. All of us have went in down our own rabbit holes, but for the life of me, I couldn't understand like this idiocracy that we're going through the last 4 years. You know, all the way. Let's talk. You know, Joe Biden. Obviously, he was never mentally coherent from the beginning. We suffered through all of these incompetencies all over the globe with him. The COVID literally ended the day that Russia, you know, walked over the border of Ukraine. All of a sudden, it was bam. And here we are. And I couldn't understand this. It took me this last year to understand that, like, what we're going through is not meant for us. It's meant almost like in a spiritual sense because this is a spiritual battle, and it's waking people up that normally would have shunned at all these things. Right? The same people that you talk about make fun of you or talk to you because you're talking about these things and these reports now. It's not only factual, but it's been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. Just because the media won't cover it, right? But we know this. We know that all of these conspiracy theories have came true, and it's like we had to suffer. We've been suffering through all of this to get to a point where we could have gotten Donald Trump reelected, right? We suffered in election integrity. You know, if Donald Trump had won the election in 2020, we would not know half of what we know now
That's
in
true.
regards to election integrity or COVID, all of these things getting exposed through the idiocracy. So I sit here tonight as somewhat relieved, but we've really struggled through this because I can't understand the mental disorders that we see on a daily
Well,
basis.
everything happens for a reason, you
Yes.
know, and that gave Trump 4 years for his eyes to be open to a lot of things,
That's right.
you know, and I mean, you know, it's not just America; it's all over.
It's
all over the world. I mean, this is
a
a
global
worldwide
push.
effort, a global effort, and you know, people need to realize that they're
That's right.
not going to stop just because we voted for Trump.
Well, that's right.
They're not going to stop. They're never going to stop.
And I don't think people will come to the realization, hopefully before it's too late, that all of us in this room are considered useless eaters. All of us in this room are considered overpopulation, right?
Mm-hmm.
The global push is to depopulate this planet. Now, that is the main goal of everything that they're throwing at us here.
Reduce the carbon.
Yeah, reduce the
We're the
carbon,
carbon.
you know. We are the carbon. Yes, and they do not want strength and sovereignty. They don't want independence, you know. This whole push is not just against America, but against the entire world to fall in line to a single world government. And I know people are probably rolling their eyes right now, but what have you seen playing out? What do you think that we'll get into this in a little bit, but what we go into the future, look what they're already promising us is going to happen in a month from now, you know. But I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. That's why we have to stand up and fight. We can't sit on our hands.
That's right.
That's the main
Right.
push here. They
Yeah.
want us gone. Do you think they want us up here talking like this? And
We're in the way.
no,
They can't have us in the
Uh,
way.
Exactly right. You can find the information if you look for it.
That's right.
Go
But
on the
beyond
World
a shadow of a
Economic
doubt.
Forum, go on their website, go on to the Rockefeller Foundation, go on their websites.
that's right.
You know, it's out there. All you got to do is do a little digging. But when you start digging, be prepared because
Yes.
you're going to have some sleepless nights.
That's right. And I feel for people that were weak and took the shots. I don't judge them. You know, to each their own. But if you know, looking back on it, if you can't even admit now that there was something diabolically wrong with all of that, and we know now without a shadow of a doubt, right? Fauci should be arrested. I mean, the sucker should be put in jail.
Yeah.
You know, oh, don't get me started
Lock
on that
him
road.
up.
But
That would
yeah,
be a
Yeah,
nice
it
thing
should
to
be
do.
that would be
little
the
more than
nice thing,
arrest.
right? But we literally have traitors at the helm that have tried to destroy this nation, and now here we are. Donald Trump is elected. Everybody, we're kind of in our. I'm still in my lull, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
around
Yeah.
the holidays.
Totally. Yeah.
But it's almost unbelievable. It wasn't unpredictable. When you look at, let's talk about election integrity for a second. So you look at everything that we've been through the last 4 years and what we've discovered in election integrity and all of the activists that got up and kept pushing, right? Our state in particular just thought that, you know, all of us dumb hicks would just, you
Go
know,
along.
just roll our eyes and go back to bread and circus, but we didn't. We had data analysts and we had people grouping together, and they went inside the machines and they went inside the data, irrefutable, to the point where we still have court cases, right, that are pending because they were just trying to push it along to 2024. We had an entire legislation in this state that was anti-Trump, if you ask me. I'm not going to say anti-American, but they certainly aren't pro-American. And my God, we barely survived this election. I'm, a little surprised at Georgia, but I think it was the hard work and the dedication of activists like us, like
The
elections.
Turning Point Action Group.
Yes,
I mean, they, in my opinion, they went out and they really made it happen.
they did.
You know, I mean, they were going out to, even to our small counties. They came here, they
That's
came
right.
to Chattooga. You know, they were all over the state of Georgia getting people registered to vote and getting this information out to people. And I mean,
I
if
agree.
it weren't for Turning Point, you know, because they, not only did they work really hard, but they got people motivated in each community too, you know, so.
They
Yeah.
did.
I mean, I don't believe for a minute that Georgia was purple. I just don't. I mean, our cities maybe are blue,
They are.
but I just don't. I mean, everywhere I go over the state of Georgia, it's all Trump people.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
I don't
when
go to
I-
Fulton
yeah.
County. I don't go to Gwinnett. And, you know, I mean,
I don't blame you.
Well,
if I go down
I
south,
agree.
I go around Atlanta. I don't even go through Atlanta anymore. I'd rather take the long
Yeah.
way.
I agree. Georgia's red. Georgia's conservative, but voting, they're very bruised purple. And that's the problem. And like you said, without Turning Point, without all the GOPs getting active, without really making a push, you would have had the people just sitting on their hands. We had more people than ever. And even in the Democrat areas, we had less Democrats voting Democrat. We had more people. The numbers were higher in every single county. So that's something to be proud of there.
Yeah.
You know, making a
Yeah.
difference.
The Trump Force campaign too.
Mhm.
That really helped a
It
lot
did.
too. So
And you've got a lot of minority voices out there now who they're well beyond what you would call awakened, red pill, however you want it. They know now that they've got off that slave plantation of a Democrat Party. They understand what is really going on, and that is helping bring more people into the fold, right? People that of all different backgrounds. I mean, even Latino people. Everywhere I go, they're Trump supporters.
Yeah.
Trump supporters. They know that they're being spoon fed a bunch of lies.
Yep.
Right,
It's
all
amazing.
All the guys that own the gas station now, whatever they are, every one of them that I talk to are all
Full on
people.
Trump's people.
Yeah.
Trump hats, begging you to buy a Trump hat. They can't. It's so crazy to me to be down here in reality, and then turn on the television and see the garbage, right? The absolute garbage.
You do that still? I don't even turn
Well, I
that
mean,
on
yeah,
anymore.
I'm for. Sometimes I got to go in there and tell them. I'm like, "What are you watching? You don't
Yeah,
watch
I haven't-
CNN.
Yeah.
Turn
I
that
haven't
off."
That's
watched
crap.
the
He's just
news
like, I'm watching
media
whatever.
like since I haven't even watched Fox since
No,
Yeah.
And they
Tucker
know.
since
left.
2020.
When
Oh,
Tucker
yeah.
left,
haven't
that
watched
was the
Fox.
day I stopped.
yeah, that
Then I
you're
went
right.
to what is the other one that come out? Newsmax. I watched
Newsmax,
it for
yeah.
a minute and I was like, eh.
Yeah.
The only news, like mainstream news that I watch now is Steve Bannon
Right.
and
And I don't know if
Real
you've
America's
noticed
Voice.
this,
I don't.
but how many times do you see? I mean, obviously on Facebook we see fact check crap, but how many people are worried too much anymore about having to be fact checked online and all this? Like, they're not. Most of the people are responsible now. The narratives have been broken.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah,
see
I
half
haven't
of that
got
anymore.
a strike in a while.
You see what I'm saying?
What's up with
The
that?
truth has come out enough now where nobody is watching that garbage. They're watching people like us talk, and we don't even have nothing to hide. I've got no
Right.
reason to lie up here. We can debate all day long,
Yeah.
Sure.
but this is the future.
I had a friend tell
You know.
me, he said, when I see one of yours has got a mark against it or something, a fact check, I definitely go, oh, yeah, I definitely want to see this. Then.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I get
It's
it.
it's
That's
insane.
an indicator.
And I wonder
Sure.
too, and my 16-year-old daughter, I don't remember how far back when they started talking about banning TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even have TikTok. I was like, I don't know anything about it. And I was like, well, I hear all this stuff. I'm being a dad, and I'm like, well, if they do, they do. There's a lot of bad stuff on there. Of course, then I get TikTok, and I started realizing, oh, I'm getting way more actual boots on the ground information there than
Oh, yeah.
Right.
anywhere else. And I'm like, and now they're talking about it again, banning it. And I'm going, wait a minute. Now I'm with her, with this daughter. I'm like, no, they don't need to do that.
Right.
I was like, why would you feel that you need to do that? Because we are getting too much
Right.
actual information.
That's what it is.
You can't
They
shuffle
don't
it
want
around.
people talking about it. I mean, and if you look, like the media, from which I don't watch the news again, but what, like I don't hear anybody talking about North Carolina and Tennessee
Oh, I
Right.
know.
anymore.
Yeah.
Nope.
Those
The news
people are
is
still
the next-
over there.
is the
They're
next
still
thing.
doing
Yeah.
without.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They are our people.
That's right.
You see it on TikTok. You see the videos. You see the damage and the death toll and the destruction, the devastation. It's
Well, what are you
those
supposed to
people need
believe?
help.
When you see, we know, right? Close friends of mine are going on church weekend trips delivering goods. I've seen so many videos from my people, my areas. The news media completely silent.
Mm-hmm.
What is that trying to tell you? What kind of narrative are you?
Why would they not
if
try
it's
to boost and
scatterbrained.
promote our own people and try to get
Well,
help to them?
What was the very first thing that came out about North Carolina? Well, there's a
Lithium?
huge lithium
Lithium
mines
mine.
out there. There's
Yeah.
under what is the house over there? The house that needed to be destroyed. The famous house. I can't remember, but anyway, huge lithium deposits. One of the towns that got struck. Well, there's a lithium company in town that's been trying to buy the town. Well, that's conspiracy, right?
Yep.
Okay, I get it. But guess what? After all this time, and we're not hearing any sort of official stories or narratives, what are we supposed to think you're doing? It looks to me like you're trying to take this land away from these communities and use it to mine lithium. I mean, they don't understand how they feed this stuff,
They don't
They
understand
do
too.
understand. They do understand fully.
Well, look at the
They know
assassination.
exactly what they're doing.
Trump's assassination, July, right? Has there been an official story that has came out from our government on that day, on that assassination?
I'm still waiting for the Las
I've not
Vegas
seen
stuff to come
the
out.
Right?
I've not seen one
Yeah, I wanna know what that
official
was all about.
story
Yeah.
that has came out from our federal government about the first assassination attempt. So you know what that means? It's like Tim Pool says, until we have an official story, then everything is on the table.
That's right.
There are no
And here's
conspiracies.
the thing, Luigi. The recent
Oh,
CEO,
Luigi Mangione.
well, we know
or
everything
whatever.
about that, don't we?
Oh God, we knew that in the
We know
first 20
everything.
minutes.
Why don't we know anything about the others?
Have-
Yep.
I don't know.
I meant to do a Matthew Perry. God bless him. Friends, you know the Friends star
Yeah.
Matthew Perry. Okay, it's a tragic. He lived a tragic life. He was a drug addict, alcoholic from his teens, and yeah, seen all the episodes of my wife and all this. But you know, he died. He drowned in a spa this year. He was had some of that stuff. I guess whatever that stuff, that tranquilizer type stuff.
Yep.
I saw a magazine about this, and there's also something online detailing every single minute of every single, you know, where these people were, when he got the drugs, when he was at. I'm talking about it was so thorough that Law and Order didn't have nothing on it. And we know this stuff down to a wire, yet something as big as an assassination attempt on our president.
Yeah, they put
We
all
know
that
nothing.
money and all that time and effort into Hollywood.
Exactly.
But not our country, not our own people, not our own president.
That's how you know that it's fixed. That's how you
That's
know.
why I don't watch the media at all.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
It's
get
garbage.
anything from them.
Absolute garbage.
I would
And,
rather watch the conspiracy theory shows.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's way more interesting.
Yeah, really.
It's like you
and
were
they're more
talking
like
about
us.
with, you know, why they don't show North Carolina
Mm-hmm.
and Tennessee and areas like that's been devastated by the flooding and all that. I think where it really turned around and it went south on them is when the FEMA story came out.
Mm. Yes.
And when they said, "Oh, you're going to bypass that house because he's got a Trump sign up front yard," you know, we need to, you know, stay away from him. Don't give him any help or her, you know. And then after all that information started coming out,
Yep.
that was like, "Oh, we need to go somewhere else. We need to look at something else."
Yeah,
We need
Sure.
to-
Over here.
What did they
Yes.
do?
Exactly.
FEMA was doing an absolutely horrible. Shame on you, FEMA. They even came out and said they didn't have enough money because they'd given it to all these migrants that were coming in. So
And now
what
they're
happens?
done
Well, the
the deal.
tinfoil hatters are somehow how crappy FEMA is, and they're not helping people, not doing anything. And then all of a sudden, FEMA starts shielding. Oh, this is crazy. And then what do we get? Internal emails coming out from boots on the ground saying if there's a Trump sign in the yard,
Skip it.
skip it.
Yep.
Yeah.
My God, man!
Yeah.
What are we supposed to believe here? This happened. I have evidence, proof here that you are skipping people. I mean, this is sickening.
But Roy, that was just one person. That didn't have
Bull.
anything to do with 100 other, you know, bureaucrats out
I know
there.
it's what a strange, as if we broke off of our, like, literally we're in another dimension. Sometimes it feels like.
Orwell going on here.
Big time, and it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna get worse, but we'll. I mean, it's gonna get better, no doubt.
Yeah.
At some point, it's
It's gotta get better, right?
Before it gets
Y'all give me some
better.
hope here.
But we'll cover that. But
Yeah, it's got to get better.
you know, 2 assassination attempts we went through this year. No, I mean, the last story I heard was that Ron DeSantis, his administration was saying that the government stonewalling him on that creep that was on the golf course. They're not allowing the investigation to continue.
Yeah.
Now, that's an article. That's a news article that they're responsible for their validity and their, you know, fact checking. But that was the last article I got. The federal government is stonewalling that investigation. What are we supposed to believe? I mean, then they say, well, the government's at an all-time low, the trust level. Well, yeah, you
Duh.
think?
I wonder
weird.
why.
Yeah, not that I trust them in the beginning or
Try not to get worked up, but it's been a crazy, crazy year, right? And we have celebration. Trump is there, right? If you could ever have a dream team, right? Regardless, when J.D. Vance starts come on the scene, I think it was a healthy skepticism, right? We needed to look J.D. Vance over and be like, "Who are you, man?" Vivek Ramaswamy, same thing. Okay, guy was in World Economic Forum. You know, we need to feel this one out. But as Elon Musk, I mean, I don't trust any of these people for starters, right?
Right.
I have no reason to trust Elon Musk because even a lot of the things that he's doing is almost handing us what we want on a silver platter.
Yeah,
That's
it's too good to be true.
yeah, it's
Yes.
too good to be true, right? Okay, so we're down here and we're watching this, but the grand scheme of things, RFK Jr., you brought him up. Wow. I mean, we know this guy's been an advocate for, getting poisons out of the food, pharmaceutical,
Yes.
for decades.
He knows about the stuff being sprayed in the skies.
That's right.
He's not in denial about it.
Astrazine, we're talking about fluoride, right? They used to talk about Alex Jones, making fun of him, turning the
Turn
frogs
frogs
gay.
gay.
Guess what? Astrazine. Everybody knows what it
It's
is
true.
now. Oh, yeah.
Imagine that.
So, like I said, our jars are running empty.
So he was right
He-
after all.
I'm telling you, I'm going to make one of those Alex Jones was right jars. I really
Oh,
need
I've got
one
a
here.
shirt that says 1776. Alex Jones was right.
That's right. There you go. I mean, and kudos, Alex Jones is another one this year that nearly got completely taken out.
Yep.
I mean, you're never going to
Financially,
stop
especially.
Alex Jones. I mean,
Uh-uh.
but my
He's never
Lord,
gonna stop.
I'm surprised
I
he
mean-
hasn't had an attempt. I'm just
I
saying.
know.
I know.
I better be quiet.
Surely it's
Yeah, don't give
wild.
them no
But
ideas.
again, what was the narrative? 1.2 billion. They were talking about the Sandy Hook. No trial, is already guilty. Went through all of this stuff, and then they turned around and tried to auction off Infowars, and they completely, on purpose, screwed the whole thing up to try to give it to some lame stream fake onion site, and then they screwed themselves. They had to stop.
Right back
It
around
seems
to
like
the-
that's happening a lot lately.
Yeah.
I believe it's the hand of God.
Yeah.
I really do.
I'm right there with you. It has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Reality's smacking them in the face.
That's
now.
right.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's like,
They're
and
falling
everybody's
into their
waking
own
up.
traps.
That's
can't,
right.
that's right.
But they're going to put everything out there to stop.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, they will, and that's coming.
I'm not smoking the opium.
No.
I'm not smoking opium.
No,
yet.
because-
You sure?
So
Come on, man. Come
You know
clean.
you are.
I'm trying.
I'm reading the book. I ordered the Saul Alinsky Rules for Radicals. I've got it. I'm halfway through it, but it's the same tendencies. You project the blame onto the
Right.
other person, the things that you
You're
are doing.
doing.
It's happening everywhere, and
Yes.
now we can see it just as easy as you can see a roach crawling across the floor, right? That, and you perpetuate the lie long enough so it becomes a truth. This is everyday mainstream media.
Yep.
What we go through all the time.
Absolutely.
The gaslighting's
Right.
insane.
That's right.
So they're playing the book, and we just have to do the best we can, right? I can't worry about Elon Musk and X and all this. All I can do is go by what these guys are telling me, right? And you watch a J.D. Vance speech after, all of this stuff, and it's like, wow, dude's on point. So he's either like, he should get an award for the best actor,
Yeah.
or put your money where your mouth is, right? Because there's a lot of promises on the table for 2025.
Yeah.
I mean, a bunch.
And hopefully they'll all pan out.
Right.
You can
So-
get the rules for Radical on audiobook, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
I got the audio version too.
It's hard to stay
But-
awake, though. I'm just telling you. Don't do
Well,
it and drive.
I have it, and I thought,
It's dangerous.
it was cheap enough, and I wanted a copy because you go back to
Oh,
Hillary
yes.
Clinton, Barack Obama. All these people studied these books in college. This is what they were
Right.
indoctrinated
Yeah,
with.
Sure.
And this is really the playbook, like 1972. This is your latter stage of Marxism, fascism coming in, where this was what Barack Obama was based as a community organizer.
Right.
You've got to know the playbook, and after reading it, you can pick it out. I'm telling you, it's all over the place. So it should be read by everybody. There's a bunch of reading material we need to look into, but you said it. It's a global push. We know this, and here we are in our little small town. And we're just not going to take it. I mean, I don't sit here with any fear. I wanted to bring this up too. The latest narrative that I'm hearing on the television back whatever is that, well, come January 20th, they're going to come for the patriots.
Yes.
They're going to come for the people, the America first
Who's
people.
coming?
The boogeyman. See.
Here.
They've
you
already
see that?
started.
Come and
And
take it.
I knew that would be the sentiment because I'm going to tell you first and foremost. There ain't a bit of us scared of anybody. You bring your worst because there is no fear in this room. But that's the latest narrative. They're trying to gaslight us into fear. Now, I think we all had a little bit of fear prior to 2020. If you guys remember the 2A movement, we were hot on the spot all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
We had a lot of things going on. Right, Trump's first presidency, the summer of love, this idiot George Floyd debacle going on. I mean, we had so many things where they were constantly gaslighting us.
Yeah, and it was such a good momentum.
It
had
was.
going. It
We
was
had
awesome.
something serious going.
We did. Thousands of people,
Yeah.
right? And what happened? Of course, they shut down the world.
Yep.
You know,
they
started,
sure
you know,
did.
And then once 2020 happened, we obviously knew, everybody knew that the election there was something wrong, right? And they
Yep.
didn't think of rocket science. So we-
Almost everybody.
well, yeah, there's a couple of stragglers out there that are still like, oh, 2020 was perfect, guys. You know,
I didn't see
yeah,
anything
okay.
wrong. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything wrong.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but what did we do? We've spent the last 4 years, we've never been able to recoup that momentum that we had. But we've kind of transformed into, like, not just out there shouting, but learning, right? We're learning about how government works. We're learning about our legislatures, you know.
It's really
but we,
backfiring on them, really.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. We're becoming more emboldened to do the right thing, and we've done all this under the guise of a completely idiotic administration for the last 4 years.
Right.
Yeah.
That was nice. That was nice. Yeah.
It took us down.
Good
I mean, we
words.
became the laughing stock of this world.
Absolutely.
Well, that's why they're hurting. I say hurting. They're moving all these different minorities around the world because, you know,
Yeah.
a country's
Replacement
not going.
migration.
Yeah, they're not going to stand up for the freedoms that we have known.
That's right.
You know,
Of course.
Sure. That's a really good point right
course
there.
not.
Because all they know is socialist
right?
Uh-huh.
agendas and
Yeah.
Marxist
Yeah, it's
agendas.
going to have to be Americans, black and white.
Yeah.
It will be. That's the thing. You look at Latino populations. The last 4 or 5 years, I've worked with so many Latinos when I was out in construction. And it taught me a lot. The assimilation thing, you know, their parents might have came here illegally. That doesn't matter. My point is, they grew up, had children in America, and those children grew up in school. Just because the color of their skin was different or they come from a different race, they grew up understanding the American way. There's some
Yeah.
that I know that are so patriotic. I once worked with a Latino guy that not only was an ex-Marine, but he had I can't say this on he had a very interesting tattoo of Hillary Clinton in a very bad way on his neck. I couldn't believe it. And that was the first thing that opened my eyes. And he was on the level years ago, you know. And I'm like, made that realization. See, when you talk about replacement migration, well, they have to replace them. They can't be growing up here under an American flag and 4th of July and growing up with the white folk and the black folk and all this.
No.
Because what happens, they start waking up and realize
Separate.
this is the best country on earth, right?
Right.
So they have to send in how many millions all over the place to completely disassociate the entire population, and then hook, line, and sinker. It's as plain as day. We can see it. Everybody knows it.
I have noticed too, though, like with some of the motels or hotels that were New York and whatnot. After the election, it's like all of a sudden, oh, yeah, we're done with them now. You guys can get out of the
Yeah,
motels.
Sure.
belong.
You're talking about the
Yeah.
New York mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dump
Well-
them in the streets now. We don't need them.
Well, what did he do?
You know.
You know, he was all, I'm New
He's-
York mayor, and then he kind of stood up and said some things that the left didn't agree with, and so there's like, well, we're going to fix your red wagon, right? So they
Right,
start
right.
poking and prodding and all this stuff, and now he's doing this begging for Trump's mercy. He's like, okay, we're going to stop this, right? Because the left's coming after him.
Coming.
Is that what it takes? You got to get threatened by the left in order to do the right thing?
What's going to be bad is when they start migrating from north to south.
Mhm.
That's
And,
correct.
Yep.
That's absolutely correct.
And something else that I've noticed too is, like I had a friend of mine, he pulled up the other day in a newer car, and I was like, hey man, that's a nice car, you know? And he's like, well, thanks. He said, I had to buy it because this illegal alien ended up hitting me head on and totaled my car, and he didn't have no insurance, no driver's license, no nothing. And they're in East Ridge Tunnels.
Oh, yeah.
You
3
know,
people died.
3
yeah.
people died in that one. He's illegal.
Colton Moore discovered the airport with the
Yeah.
non-government NGOs, non-government
Yeah.
organizations, flying them into the Atlanta airport.
Yeah.
Where's our state government on this? Well,
Yeah.
We know where our
We-
government in Georgia is.
we do. And I think
Of
they're
a Chinese communist.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. China, what's
Hey,
number one state
don't hold
they
back,
business
girl.
in? Come on in, China. You
Yeah.
know, I'm just saying, they have to know by now that we're not buying any of this anymore.
Right.
Because
Most of us aren't.
Right.
most of us. I mean, I'm going
I
to tell
still know
y'all.
a few that are like, y'all are just a bunch of conspiracy theorists.
No, that's fine.
Still to this
I've been
day.
accused of spreading hateful rhetoric already.
Oh yeah,
That's
fear
okay.
mongering.
That's
That's what
okay.
I am.
Oh,
I'm a
you
fear
do?
monger.
Hateful rhetoric.
I have
I'm like,
no shame in this game. I have kept this show alive
Yeah.
because I've played ball this year, right? I made a decision because I kept getting strike after strike. And I was going to post a lot of memes, but I'm going to play ball. I didn't hold my nose, but I put the paper clip on top, and I let some things go. I'm not doing it in 2025. Like, the hammer is going to be dropped in January. I plan to probably get kicked out of most everything that I'm a part of because it's just I'm not compromised. 2025
Right.
is going to be a year of zero compromise.
We didn't forget.
No.
No.
And if the show goes off the air, it goes off the air, right? I'm not up here trying to become the next whatever, you know.
No, but you have a really good following now, so you
well, we
really,
do, and I
you
hope
really
it
need to
stays.
keep going if possible because you're waking people up and
Well-
you know, your show's getting out to a lot of different areas.
We focus on the
No.
truth.
Right.
Yeah.
None of these politicians out here are my friends. Okay, I don't want to be friends with these people. I'm not trying to build a personal relationship. It is strictly what are we going to do in Georgia that adheres to the Constitution of the United States of America and is designed for the people. That's where we're going.
That's right.
And I don't care what legislator it is. I don't care what kind of stature
That's
they
the way
have.
it should be, Roy. A lot of people get involved because they want to rub elbows and say, "Look whose number I have."
Exactly.
I can call so and so. I don't care who you can call.
That's
what
right.
you need to be doing is calling them and holding them accountable.
That's
That
right.
is
You know,
correct.
We're not
And
here
you
to
know-
make friends with them.
Another
That's right.
thing I've learned over this year, right? I have always sort of rebuffed the ones that I didn't like, right? The ones that get under my skin, some of my representatives that I just don't like. But I've since, somebody sat down and talked with me about some of this, and it just came up naturally. But it's like, look, if we go out here with pitchforks, and the only time these people hear from us is whenever we're mad or whenever the paper's about to be signed and it's too late, you're not doing anything, right?
Right.
So my 2025 is going to be a weekly check-in with all of my representatives, everybody that I know that has been voted in office, and I'm going to keep in touch with every single one of them and say, hey, my name's Roy here. I want you to know I'm right here. And any questions I have, I'm going straight to every single one of them because that's where the accountability starts. If we don't start reaching out to these people and let them know that we're here, and guys, it can't be the same voices over and over again. People got to get active.
Yeah.
But I'm
Amen.
telling you, I'm excited
Show the
about
numbers.
2025.
Something else to bring up while you're on that tangent is that since we had that school shooting here in Georgia, and we all knew it was going to happen eventually, our state legislature is going to be pushing for red flag
Yep.
laws.
Speaker of the House, John Burns, he's going to be bringing up more of the same crap laws, the putting your guns in your safe.
Yep.
We're going to get Georgia gun owners on again, and you're going to be with me when we do.
Yes.
But that's one of my check marks. Our own Republicans in the state are going to be bringing up red flag laws yet again.
Yeah, and
So.
if you live in Catoosa County, I can tell you this. I had a meeting with the school board superintendent and our sheriff, and we sat down and we were talking about having armed teachers in classrooms, right? So I could tell that was something, since we've got the school resource officers in our schools now, that wasn't something that they wanted, either one
That's
of them
right.
wanted. And but I said, it's a conversation that we need to be having, just in case, because I've seen so much of the funding for other things just get, just abolished,
Exactly.
and wiped out, and then you're left hanging. And anyway, school superintendent Nix handed me a pamphlet, and it had a percentage of, safe schools and all this other thing, stuff on it, And I got to looking at it, and he underlined a couple of things for me that he wanted me to see. And I was looking at that, and I was like, this really shows that Georgia, teachers and the population doesn't really want armed teachers in school, But when I got home, I got to flipping through the pages, and I got to noticing that over 50% of people were in agreement that teachers should have firearms. So I kind of let that stew for about a month, and then I sent him an email with that circled, and I said, hey, I saw this, and because I didn't want him to think or feel that, I just got the information he wanted me to see, because I do my research and I dig in there and I try to find out more information. And I think that survey is something that the public can't get. I'm not real sure about that, but I think that's more, for people like him. But anyway, if I could find out, if I could get that information more readily, then I could be more aware of it. But we've got to take the Safe Storage Act out of there. That's
right.
got to go. That's got to go. We've got to put more education in to our schools, and that was one thing that they were in agreement with. Matter of fact, we talked about actually Catoosa County Second Amendment Sanctuary Group going in and having a class for safe firearms handling and things of that nature.
That's
So, because I remember back whenever I was a kid living in Tennessee, we had the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, and they would come over. Of course, back then we had our guns, right? We could carry our guns to school. I mean, I carried my shotgun, my 410 shotgun of my mom's, so we could go shoot skeet after school,
Right.
with the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency. So, those are things that I think that we can really, if we want to get active on something, maybe start looking at that, to where we can go and reach out to these
Sure.
schools and say, hey, let's teach a little firearm safety class today, and when we should use our firearms and when we shouldn't. Because growing up, whenever my kids were young and everything, the first thing I did was I taught them, the importance of having a firearm and what they would do. So my first example was we had some rats out there eating the dog food and stuff. So there was one rat out
know
there.
where that's going.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So I had them standing at the door looking out, and I said, look, this is what a gun will do, right? So I got up there close to it, and I mean, he'd never seen me coming. And I put one in it, little 22, and then I had them come out and look at it, and I said, that's what a gun will do, So you got to be careful where you point this thing. You got to be careful what you do with it. It's a
Sure.
tool,
Any
Thank God
responsible
for good dads. My dad was a weapons engineer in the Army, and I don't ever remember a time growing up that I didn't know what a firearm was, what it was for, and what it could do.
Sure.
We were taught from a small age a healthy respect for guns.
That's right.
And
Absolutely.
I mean, I wish more households did, but I know everybody in this room does.
Yes.
And my
Or
kids
has.
do too.
Oh yeah.
And that's another thing,
Now,
with
correct me
safe
though if
storage.
I'm wrong, but
Yes, sir.
even during that, didn't you guys have a discussion about non-lethal rounds?
Yes, I actually
Okay.
brought that up.
Please.
I brought that
because-
up, so I was like, we have non-lethal means of doing this too, right? Like the Burnus system.
Furnace, yeah.
There's other systems out there, but I tell y'all, that just totally blew their mind
Mhm.
because they were not expecting.
They didn't want the they didn't want the conversation.
I don't think they did either, but I think they were just being nice about it, and because
Excuse me.
they do realize that that each of us here at this table has an influence, right?
Mhm.
And we're about freedom, and that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to be pushing every single time we talk to a legislator or
That's
or
right.
anybody. So if we're not doing it for, I mean, that's the thing too, Roy. I'm not doing it for me.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it for my kids and my grandkids, so they have a country to go back to. That they can
Yeah.
call home, right? Because right now it's a little off in left field right
Yes.
now, but we'll get back down center field real soon.
We're
I
going to
hope.
have to. We don't have. I mean, we people say we can do it tomorrow. We can't do it tomorrow. I believe that this
Needs to be
coming
done.
inauguration is I'm not dooming and glooming, but this is going to be the last ditch effort that we're going to have the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And people think I'm just making that up. I said this, 8 years ago. I said Trump is going to give us 4 more years in order to get our house in order, because eventually, right,
So
we continue to lose these freedoms you speak of. We
Yes.
continue
Exactly.
to lose
They're
ground, and
never
we
gonna
don't
stop.
get it back, right?
That's right.
So yet again, what happened in that 4 years, I don't think any of us saw coming until,
Here it is.
except Fauci. Expect the virus to come on here, at 6 a.m. December the 4th. And
You're getting pretty good at that, Roy.
Event 201. People are like, right, you say Event 201, they're like, huh? Yeah,
What?
they gamed this thing. We didn't know it was
They do
coming.
repeatedly. It's-
We didn't even have 4
it's a
years.
pattern.
We didn't have a Trump presidency for 4 years. And then we went through 4 years of insanity. And so now here we are again. And, so we'll kind of delve into some 2025. Fight, right? So we're down, 20-something days until inauguration, right? So
Who's going in this group?
I'm not.
I would
didn't
love
get
to.
tickets.
I'm going.
Are you?
Yes.
Did you get tickets for it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, that's great. I didn't get any tickets. I tried. I didn't even get an
You
email.
don't have to have a ticket anyways.
I know, but no. I would have liked to have planned it out. My wife actually
going.
wanted to go, but
I don't go anywhere. I can't take my firearm. DC is not
Well,
the place for
the
me.
last time I went to Washington, we're live. But,
no, it would be cool.
I better be quiet.
Now, there is a lot of things developing, right? We've heard the Democrats actively talking about blocking this inauguration due to this insurrection 14th Amendment. We now have mouth breathers coming out that, were vaccine experts saying that verbatim quoting saying expect another pandemic, on
Yep.
January
Yeah, we're
21st.
going to dump it on y'all.
Exactly.
I don't know
So
why
you're
people
seeing
don't
from
see it that way.
The Congo area up.
We California,
Yeah.
state of emergency over H1N1.
Yeah.
So we know the playbook, and just like go back to 2016, the moment we all woke up and realized Trump had become president, and within the inauguration, it was the pink hats. That's why I'll leave it at that. That's not the name they call them, but. We had Madonna up there saying, I wish we could blow up the White House, which I don't know if you've seen that meme, but when Roseanne is prettier than Madonna, there's
yes.
something wrong.
Oh,
We're in
yeah.
an inverse,
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously we know, given this dream team we're talking about, Trump in office, and this time he's on the up and up, right? He knows. And we're talking about Doge. We're talking about Kash Patel taking over the FBI. We're talking about Pete Hegseth possibly taking over the Department of Defense. Elon Musk literally set up like a race car bed in the White House, and he's like jumping around going, I can't wait to release the Epstein list. I mean, like,
Yes.
Right?
so
Not that I care, but
what I see is a Lord of the Rings like battle for Mordor right now, okay?
Right.
That's a great way
Because
of looking at
I'm
it.
serious. We're seeing both. I mean, like the right is way too quiet. And then where was Black Lives Matter the last 4 years? Well, they've been buying $1 million mansions
Yeah.
off of everybody's money and getting sued into oblivion for.
The narrative change.
Antifa, they just, I don't know, I guess they went and got a job at the local Circle K. I don't know. And then all of a sudden now, guess where the news is? Well, Black Lives Matter is coming out now.
Yep.
Antifa is coming out now. So,
The Terminator. I'll be Bob.
yeah, so to me, 2025 is shaping up to be like this Battle of Mordor. Like I said earlier, now the news is like, well, apparently they're going to be coming after all the Patriots. Okay, well, are you threatening me?
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
So-
don't threaten me with a good time.
No.
I said it before. If you think these three-letter organizations and are just they're got boxes, and they're like, well, let's pack up my stuff and go. I don't think it's going to happen, y'all. I think there's going to be a fight. I think that the left, the Democrats, are going to do everything they can to to take the I believe we're in a civil war right now. And like I always go back and say, it's not a musket. We're not, it's not the Confederates against the Union, right? But civilly, we're in a war, right? We're in a culture shock war. I believe that the left is going to do everything that they can to interrupt any sort of America First policies, right?
Absolutely, they will.
Definitely.
They did that during Trump's first term.
They
anyway,
did.
You know,
I think they'll
Hook,
be a
line, and
little more
sinker.
bold
Hey,
this time. I really
Where
do.
are all the leaks
Yeah.
in the White House?
I mean, like when Trump took office, I mean, there was leak after leak after leak after
that's
leak,
right.
and then when Biden took office, where
They
were the
all went
leaks?
away. They couldn't even find whose cocaine was in the covers.
Right.
No, that's what was
Traitors.
crazy.
They had 50-something retired FBI agents write a letter saying that the Hunter Biden laptop was not real.
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
But they found it.
Yeah, but they
It was.
the Ashley Biden diary. We don't need to say more. They never even tried to cover that one up. They just literally tried to incriminate the people that had it. I digress. So yes, right? And Jennifer just said it. I believe that they're going to be more emboldened, right?
yeah.
Look, everything's to lose now.
Everything.
And you know that there's ties on the right too.
Mhm.
That's why they're
Absolutely.
Trying to be
Well, they have these groups, I mean, they call MAGA a cult. Well, MAGA is the most non-cult
Yeah.
because we actually think for ourselves. We're not following a leader,
Right.
and that's what a cult does. They follow
right.
their leader, and that's what Black Lives Matter is, and these other
Yeah, I don't know.
organizations, whatever they are.
Donald Trump is not my leader.
They're following.
That's
No, I mean he is our
Only have
president,
one.
and I'm thankful for him.
That's right.
He's not my leader.
Exactly.
He's not. I'm not following his lead. I'm doing what I'm doing
That's right.
because I don't want to speak manganese. I don't want to be in a freaking camp somewhere
Exactly.
where I'm told when I can
That's right.
do anything, eat, whatever.
And what
I'm
have
not
they
going
been
to.
doing? He's not even in office yet. The world is reaching out to him.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Right.
They're already
Changing
talking to
Right,
him.
they're already
immediately.
treating him
What
like
is-
he's in charge.
Yeah.
What has happened whenever he has a bad pick? We're not going to 100%, but I can't think of one now. But I can't remember that guy's name. He was gonna nominate, and Twitter went freaking crazy, and people were like, "No, Trump, no." He listened. He took the guy out. There's been several picks that the people are speaking up, and we're actually getting that information to him, and he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, the people they don't want
Right.
you." And that's quite a change. And then
Yeah.
you have the Democrats going, "I can't believe they're listening to the people." That's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
So we're
That's why they hate him so much
Oh,
because
exactly.
he does put the people of this country
Yes.
first.
he really does. He has
They don't want the people of this country to be put first. They just, all
No.
they're concerned about is their own personal gain, their own personal interest.
That's
They
it.
could care less about the people of America. They could care less about the ones that they're herding around.
That's right.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
And then there's your establishment uniparty, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Your
Yes.
Republicans, your rhinos,
Yes.
your
Yeah.
the people that benefit from all this, the tit, the tat. The same thing with the omnibus this year. It was the same freaking crap we went through. Thomas Massey was right. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, he was right.
For God's sakes, we got all of these special interest groups that are paying both sides, and they,
Right.
and they don't know any different. I tell people this so much. I'm like, look, yeah, you just woke up a few days ago and you want it changed. You want it fixed yesterday, but you're walking into a game that's being played for a long time. All right, and no matter who your rep is, they go in there, they get sat down at the table, and they get a choice. They say, you either play in the game, or else we're going to ruin you. And we're seeing that over
Yep.
and over and over again. So we have to figure out a way to play this game at the same time and get our voices out and get heard. And we're going to have to get rid of these people. It's
Absolutely.
no longer business as usual. It's got to go.
And I
they're
don't think
shocked.
Trump will end up putting up with too much stuff.
I hope
I
not.
mean,
I
I
don't
think
think he will
the first
either.
sign of anything
I hope
that's
not.
anti-American in his
Right, he only has
administration,
4 years.
Right.
he's gonna chunk them, get rid of them.
So-
I agree, I think so too.
Question. Do you think that Doge is really going to happen?
Well, I mean, the concept is great. I like it, and I don't think they can stop anything that they want to do. Right, but all they're doing is suggesting what should be cut and what should
Right.
be kept. Right, so they really don't have a whole lot of power in that aspect. But if they can bring out where they do have power is where they can bring out the budgets and how much money is being spent here and there, and releasing that out to the public and letting
agree.
them see, you know, where all their money's going, and then they're going to say, look, I don't know why in the world I spent $1 million for a toilet seat that don't even fit a toilet, you know?
And look at the
It's not in my
establishment's
Yeah,
reaction.
that's not in
It's
my
not in my
house.
house.
Yeah, it's in Ukraine somewhere.
Take Mitch McConnell for example. Mitch
Oh,
McConnell is no
there he's
longer
out.
the Senate Majority Leader, right? He's stepping down. But what job is he going to take? The Senate Appropriations Committee.
Yeah.
How in the world? How did Glitch McConnell? Okay, how did Glitch
That's a great-
McConnell? How are they putting him as the Senate Appropriations Committee? This is insane. Like that, we're still battling. And we spend most of our time battling our own side.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what kills
Move
me.
them around a little bit.
It just kills me. So
Yeah.
The
I'm not-
same is going to happen here in Georgia. Kemp, he's not going anywhere.
no, he's not.
He's going to stay in.
Well,
I think
He's
he's
not.
going to be running for
okay,
Senate.
I'm not going to say no, he's not. But we the people are not going to accept another. All right, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself. But we the people are not going to accept the current musical chairs status quo that's going on in the Gold Dome. We're not going
Right.
to. No need to go into further. But we are in the works. A huge campaign because we were not going to accept this.
That's right.
I have held my nose and voted for far too long, and my vote deserves the. You have to earn my vote, okay? Being a responsible voter, so there will be no more settling, and that
Agreed.
we're going to go into that a lot more in January. There's a lot of people fixing to break. But if these people think just because they got an R next to their name that they're going to get my vote, that is, you couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's the way
Preach
it
it,
is.
brother.
It's the way it
I
is,
agree.
and
I love
it's
that.
us. We're going to have to do this. We're the people
yeah, I've
on the
been
ground,
writing them in.
and the people
I mean,
that
I'm
are
gonna write in or
gatekeeping.
whatever.
The people that are gatekeeping, or the people are like, no, we got to no. I don't want to hear it. You can take me away from whatever you want to, but from now on, my vote is earned. It will not be given to anybody that doesn't earn it.
That's right.
So,
Man, on that too, man, my next door neighbor come rolling down by my house. That's the first time he's ever been to my house. And he said, oh, are you going to vote for such and such candidate? And I said, no. He said, well, why not? I said, because he's a Democrat. But he's a Republican. I said, no, he's a Democrat. I said, he votes like a Democrat. He talks like a Democrat. He walks like a Democrat. He's a Democrat, and he will not get my vote. And it was like, so you're just going to let that vote go away, and that vote's going to go to the true Democrat. And I said, either way you look at it, you're going to get a Democrat.
that's right.
Right.
That's right. That's why they
You need
make
to
a
figure it
write-in
out.
line.
Yeah, they need to start researching a little. I mean,
That's right.
there's organizations out here that keep up with their voting record. You know,
Yeah.
the Republican assemblies.
That's right.
They keep up with it. The John Birch Society.
John Birch has got
keeps
a
up with
Yes.
it. So,
beautiful
Yes.
one.
I mean,
Great.
you
Yeah.
can find out what your legislators are doing if
That's
you
right.
really, truly want to know.
That's right.
But we
Amen,
need to
sister.
really make that happen on the local level, though, too.
And we are.
Yeah, definitely.
We are. We are.
Definitely.
Because
It's,
the
it's
local,
gonna be
that's the
interesting.
thing that people don't understand. Your local elections affect you more than any other elections
That's right.
there are.
It's true.
Because if you look at property taxes and everything else we're
Right.
having to deal with right now,
That's right.
yeah, get
So-
involved in your local.
But you took us back to the big dose.
We are at what we're going to do. We'll go about 7 more minutes, and then we're going to go to comments because we got a lot of comments. So a lot of people are watching
good.
right now.
Why don't somebody call in?
Well, I
Call
didn't,
and talk to us.
I didn't put the number up, so that's my bad. But so basically, I will finish out this 7 minutes of like anybody have anything specific they're looking at in 2025, right? I can start and just kind of. I don't think that we're going to have nuclear war. Okay, I do not think that Russia or China or anybody really wants to have a nuclear war. I'm more worried about Israel and the craziness that's going on with Israel, the kind of stuff you can't talk about, you know, and that kind of unhingedness that's going on, because obviously we're in the middle of a geopolitical like storm, proxy wars everywhere, right? I believe ultimately everybody is doing the same thing we're doing, and they're praying nightly that Donald Trump takes office because nobody wants to blow up this world, and that they want to just talk to somebody that can like speak back to them and be like, yeah, we're going to do this, right? So I'm not looking for nuclear war. I know all my doom and gloomers every single day. I turn on and listen to them, and it's the next. I don't think it's going to happen. All right. I think that we're going to have more turmoil on our own soil by our own people. These proxy situations. I'm looking for the left to kind of unhinge in cities again. They're going to create as much boots on the ground turmoil as they can, and the media is going to gaslight us every step of the way, right? I don't know how they're really going to be able to do this, get rid of the illegal immigrants without the military. I'm really looking to see how they're going to do that, because I do believe that there should be some dignity involved, where you don't want just military personnel out in the streets. The optics are horrible. Like, I get it.
It's
But
unconstitutional, though, too.
it's unconstitutional. So I'm wanting to know what their plan is to, we're going to just have plainclothes people that are doing this. I mean, obviously I'm not stupid, and a lot of people don't realize INS has been doing this for decades, right? When they get arrested, they go into a specific holding cell, and they would come pick them up. So I don't want to hear any of this jargon from these idiots out there about, no, how are you guys going to carry this out, right? So I want to make sure that it's done right.
Ethically.
And then I want Doge to happen. All right. Now, how far are they willing to go? I'm going to be really mad because every time I look at X and I see Elon Musk giddy about the Epstein list and the P. Diddy list, and then it's going to be released. If that crap doesn't get released after all these years, I'm going to be pretty upset, right? Yes, I want government.
I think they're going to release it.
I hope so.
I do too.
I'm hopeful, but you know how many times in the last 2 years alone they've talked about the judge saying they're going to release it. They never do it.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
it will crush the entire entertainment
That's
industry.
fine. Let it
But
go.
that's
Yes.
They're all
that's
a
their
bunch
bread-
of
that's
child
their bread and
sniffers.
circus, though. That's the
Exactly.
bread and circus. You can't take that away. How they can control the masses.
Well, so
The people that are
2025
elected.
is going to be a little rocky. I obviously praying that Trump continues to make it. He doesn't get taken out, right? But I remain hopeful, because the more that they try to gaslight me, the more I'm going to do this, and I'm going to stand up, because we're not scared. That's what they want us to be, is scared.
Yep.
They want us to be scared. They want us to listen to some of this information that says, oh, everything's really okay. We just go to bed. I'm not listening to any of that either.
Mm-mm.
Okay? I'm going to be here raising my family, working, and out here talking to these legislators, pushing stuff. I don't care. Serenity prayer. But 2025 overall looks hopeful to me. So
Well, I'm right there with you, except I do think that there is a possibility for a nuclear strike.
you could be right.
The reason I'm kind of basing my opinion on that is because I'm noticing a lot more of the cyber attacks.
That's
And
correct.
if they can cripple, our infrastructure with cyber attacks, and then take us on out with the nuclear strike, you take out the communications first, right?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what you do.
Absolutely.
So with all them probing and all the things that they're doing there, it seems kind of likely to me.
I saw drones last week flying over. I filmed 9 minutes of it. That's a whole different story. I will be doing. A lot of people asked me to do a report. I'm going to, but not tonight. But go. Yes.
But I'm hoping it don't happen. But if it does, what do? Right? And
We
me and a
probably
guy from
won't
where.
know anyway.
Right. Well, that's the
Exactly.
thing about it, because I got to look in where we live, right, and we're surrounded by nuclear
That's
facilities.
right.
Facilities, yeah.
That's
and
right.
they are a prime target for.
We've got
nuclear.
3 in a line of 50 miles or 150 miles apiece.
Yeah, and if they can
So-
take the power out before they drop the rods and stuff, I mean, it's going to be really,
correct.
really bad.
Fukushima.
Yeah.
But my thing with the nuclear thing is they want America. We have a lot of resources here,
Sure.
natural resources that they want.
Well,
I don't
look,
know.
up until now,
Well, they've already got the
with
land,
Trump,
so-
right? They didn't have a reason to nuke. because we had an idiot. I mean, we had a vegetable for president. We're killing ourselves for the last 4 years. They're just sitting back and watching us destroy
Well,
ourselves.
and he's giving it to him.
Yeah,
You know, what do you want?
and then now we've got Trump in, so it's either going to be they're going to work together or plan the other option, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, if
I'm
they want to
think-
wipe us all out, yeah, but I think they want America. I mean, it's not just control over the people, it's control over our resources.
yeah,
But technically, they already have it.
Yeah, that's
Well,
kind of my point.
Think of the
I'm-
farmland that they already
Yes,
have. Think
they
of
do.
all the other
Yes.
things they already
but see, that's
here.
also that global push. See, this is the dark
True.
entities
Right.
trying to take over the world, bring us a one world government, one world religion. So I don't think this push is 50-50. I think it's a very small conglomerate of people with a lot of influence, a lot of money. That we're talking about the old backroom, demons that are trying this, and they're waking us up in the process.
Yeah, and now that the people are waking up, they're not gaining as much ground and they're not
Yeah.
winning like
Right.
they were when everybody was in the dark. So
True.
we're
So-
going to be okay.
That's right. What do you think?
Man, I'm trying. I'm gonna try to get a little hopium and hang on to it. I don't know. Hopefully, again, nuclear war. Is it a possibility? I'm not gonna take it off the table.
It certainly is
you know,
now.
Tactical nuke wise, definitely not. But one of the things that I'm looking at, we're seeing a lot of your Bitcoin, your digital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Where's
North
that
Korea.
going? Because
Exactly.
we're getting it pushed hard, really hard, and we know where our dollar is.
Right, and I want to stress. I think the talking about cryptocurrency, there's a difference between that and a digital currency, right?
True. Very true.
There's so much there to unpack, but obviously our currency is going to change whether we like it or not. Is it going to change in a sort of non or decentralized state, or is this going to turn into a complete digital state? Right, that's to be seen.
That's the key
So.
right there. That's the key.
Jennifer, what about you?
After the last 4 years and all of the people that I've lost in the last 4 years, I'm just trying to be happy in a crazy world.
Yeah.
You know,
Amen.
I'm just trying
Really?
to find my own happiness and my own peace, and not let all this get me, just keep me doom and gloom, because it is doom and gloom. And
It is.
but I know that God is in control no matter what, and when we step out of this world and we step into the next,
Yeah.
it's never going to
It's all gonna
end
be
then.
good.
And
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm just trying to
I got you.
find happiness with myself in a mad, crazy world.
That's right.
And I'm not going to let all this just bog me down like
No.
I have. Losing Doug kind of woke me up to that. I wasted a lot of time worrying about it, and he always told me, "You worry too much.
Yep.
You worry about things that you can't change.
Yep, or
you change
control.
what you can, and give God the rest."
That's right.
And he was right.
That's right.
So
I spent the last 2 years watching these red lines being crossed.
Yeah.
Cross another red line, we're going to use a nuke. I'm to the point now where I thought we'd have been blown up a couple years ago. I really did.
Yeah, me too.
right.
Um,
Me too.
And
That's
so
why I
at
say
this
I don't
point
think
in
they're gonna
time,
do it.
if it happens, you're either going to be where you need to be, or you're going to be into the next life. And either way,
Right. You're not going to know.
Yeah.
Nope.
I
So-
mean, you'll be gone.
that being said, and I'm always watching the technology because all of these things we bring up tonight, right? Technology is just sailing into the wind, and we're looking at
We need to get
You
with
know.
the times and
Well,
learn
yeah.
technology.
Oh, we
just
do.
Like that thing you sent me
Quantum
today. We need to
computers.
learn how to benefit from it because
do.
it's here
Mhm.
and we need to use it.
and it's not going away. They're
No, it's
talking
not
about
going
singularity between human and machine within 2045. I can't
No,
even
I'm
fathom
not
that.
saying that part of it.
That's what I'm
we need
saying,
to
though. That's
learn
the
and we need
push.
to-
We've got
Right.
to get on top of some of this stuff and realize that it's here.
Right.
And what we need to safeguard things. ChatGPT went from version 1 to now they're like a version 5.
Yeah.
Every single company has this. They're using it.
Yeah, if anybody's a business owner or anything, they should be definitely using that.
Yeah, and if you-
school kids
you know,
and college kids, yeah.
Now you're
use
seeing the power of
ChatGPT.
the videos, the power of the artificial pictures and videos. I saw one that somebody showed me yesterday of a police chase, and it was from the camera view of the police car, and they're chasing a white car in front of them, and all of a sudden this black car pulls up, and they hand over something from window to window. and then it cuts, and then the chase is still happening, and the trunk flips open. It's like an oil slick. You remember that
Oh,
game? What was it? The Nintendo game.
Yeah,
What was that?
What was it called?
It sprayed the oil out the back.
Yeah, okay, but it looked very real. Obviously, you could tell once the oil slick came out, it was
Yeah.
fake. But my point is that the technology is going to get to a point where we're not going to be able to distinguish.
Right.
Right.
What's
the
real?
part that- yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
2 years from now, when Trump has come out with there's a video floating around online where he said, "I hate everybody," and will we be able to tell the difference before the media grabs a hold of it?
Right.
So that's where our future lies, right? They can make us or break us. So we always got to keep an eye out for that.
It was the Joe Rogan was the first one I heard that I was almost duped completely by the voice. AI
Oh, yeah.
voice. I was like,
Mhm.
wait a minute, this off a little bit.
And I don't know
Yeah.
if you've noticed the robocalls, right? And
Oh,
most
yeah.
of my friends didn't even know this, right? But I have to admit, I get a little wild with the robocalls. But I've been in this game long enough, like I can tell it's just a AI recording, right? And it bases on what you say. Well, at first they thought it was somebody real, and I'm like, listen to this. No, you can listen to this closely.
They start
This is
catching
AI.
Yeah.
This is what they're capable of doing. They can talk to you based on what you're saying. There's nobody there.
And it's just going
So-
to get better.
Exactly. So
Or worse.
we got to keep our eyes out for that. But
Definitely.
2025
But we need to learn how to benefit from it too.
We do.
I mean,
We
you
do.
know, be
Something-
cautious, be aware, but learn to use it to benefit yourself
right.
as well.
I mean, if I would have listened like 11, 12 years ago to my buddies who were like mining, Bitcoin?
Yeah.
and I tried to wrap my mind around it, they were showing me, I got this wallet here, and this computer just mines it, and I'm like, what the crap is this?
Right.
Guess what?
Yeah.
If I would have listened to them back then and been like, you should open up your wallet and do this, well, we might be in a little bit better studio.
Well, just don't forget the old ways of doing things.
That's right.
Right.
Never. Always prepare, no matter what. Right. Just make sure that you are prepared for anything. That's what our civic duty is. We want to remain independent. Right. We don't want to rely on all this crap.
The government obviously isn't going to save you.
Yeah.
So-
Right.
Right. That's
Exactly.
a huge problem nowadays too. You know, because
Yeah.
I mean, with the elders in my family and Doug's family, you know, they know how to do things that the young people
That's right.
will never know how to do. If I
That's-
mean,
yeah.
You're right.
if we were
Canning.
without power
Mm-hmm.
and you had to kill a hog and
Yeah.
you had to skin a deer or can
That's
know your meat and your vegetables, and they're going to be totally lost.
That's something I push at my house. I mean, we're homesteaders,
That's right.
semi off grid.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah, you
my
guys got
kids,
some killer stuff going on.
I'm teaching them
Right.
everything that I can in case these things go away. Hey, you're going to be fine. There's no reason to
I am
panic.
so thankful for
You know how to
the
do it.
for the people and the things that they taught me in my
Yeah.
life.
And the
Yeah.
groups of in that same mindset too. Of
Mhm.
doing, it's growing, it's massive. The movement of that,
That's right.
the old ways.
That's right.
It's great.
All right, we're going to do some comments. I'm going to try to go through them as quickly as possible. We got a bunch, so appreciate that. So David Naha, good to have you with us. Says Jennifer Tudor, prayers are with you daily for your loss. Amen to
David.
that. Christopher Lee Rayleigh, good to have you. It says inflation is taxation. That's 100%. He says economists agree it's failed monetary policy. So, well, of course, we're on a fiat currency, and we got off the gold standard. There's so many issues with our money and the manipulation. We could spend a whole day on that. It's insane.
Without a doubt.
David says the swamp is in the works to drop certification. What's the plan if this comes to pass? That's a good question. And any takers? I personally don't think that they're using the same principles that they say we used in 2020. Okay, about the electorate. Even though we had a lot of reason to not certify that election. So this is just a bait and switch. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I think this is all gaslighting. I think that this is another way they're throwing straws up against the wall trying to get us mad. That's all. I
Yeah.
don't think they're going to be able to do it.
I'd say just roll with it.
Roll with
David. You know.
Mhm. Don't even worry about it. Don't lose sleep. So Christopher Rayleigh says crypto is zero's tax. Yes, until the government gets hold of it, I'm
Yeah.
afraid. So It says decouple your finances from the dollar. That would be a good. We probably should focus more on that in the future for sure. And let's see. David says after the 25%, we are taxed on every dollar we spend to support our family. There is no meat left on the bone. Amen. Hopefully, we're going to change that in 2025. Georgia, Christopher says Georgia taxes to death. The state is flush. Yes, the state. We're doing some special reports on the state of Georgia. So let's see. Cannabis would provide $100 million. Is that that's $100 million. Ain't it? Yep. No
I'm
doubt.
all for legalizing
No doubt.
the marijuana plant and open up the entire industry because it's not just smoking.
Oh no.
It's not just medicine.
No hemp.
It's,
There's
so
many.
many things that can be done.
Some states have
farming.
already done that. You know,
Yeah.
they've made it legal, but
yeah, I mean, you can do if you can extract oil from anything.
Yeah.
What can you get from oil?
the ATF's already come out
You
and
know.
said, though,
That's
if
right.
you use these products, then you
Yeah.
are committing a federal crime.
Oh well, that should be that. That
They-
should not be legal at all.
Sick the
because,
Doge.
I mean, come on.
I know.
What about the guys that have PTSD from fighting wars
Sure.
for this country?
Yeah.
You going to tell me that they can no longer have a firearm and protect their family just because they get prescription marijuana?
They've been willing to
But
take their firearms
pharma-
for a long
the
time.
pharmaceuticals are okay, right?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's okay
Yeah.
to take Xanax and go off
Yeah.
your rocker.
What about OxyContin? The
Yeah.
huge $5
Yes.
billion
Go take some
lawsuit. Yeah.
fentanyl and just don't
Exactly.
smoke a doobie.
Mhm.
And he says Simp Kemp sold us out to China. Oh yeah. There's so many things wrong with this state. Betty Brady, good to have you this evening. She says maybe we need to get back to basics as much as possible. Home raised eggs and meat, spring water to drink, etc. Keep the toxins out of our bodies as much as we can. Avoid bioengineered food.
Good advice.
That's the quote of the night, Betty. I agree with
That's
you.
my
So-
mama.
Absolutely. Patty agrees. Good to have you, Patty. Let's see. Oh, Christopher Lee Redditt says, watch Fannie Willis run the tax court. Lord. That, you know what? It wasn't meant to be. I had a whole episode planned out for the Fannie Willis debacle, and we got cut short for the holidays. But man, what a circus that is. Let's not even. David says, while we get taxed to death, we have illegal shipping goods up to north on our dime, making a killing in profits. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that tonight, but we are aware of some of that going on for sure, man. Sandra Smith Bearden, good to have you, says, let's see, allodial title is a thing do we need to study, also putting our homes in a trust. Oh, that's what you were talking about earlier. Do you want to elaborate real quick on it?
Well, I mean, I don't know a ton about it. I learned about it little about 5 years ago. Most attorneys don't even know about it because it's something they don't want us to know about. There is a type of a title that you can get where you own the mineral rights, the air rights, and everything, and you own it, and you're free and clear. It's yours, your title. You hold the title to your property, and you no longer pay property taxes. But I'm not sure how to go about it because, like I said, most attorneys don't even know about it.
You would get your land patent. That's basically what you're going
Yes,
all the
it's
way
a
Land
back.
type of a
patent, okay.
land patent, but
Go back
you
and-
hold this allodial title.
Okay.
Actually have
And maybe something. I'm going to write that down when you look into that. Who knows?
It's not sounding too
Well-
good, though, if you're going to do that, because the federal government would definitely get a hold of that and have that information. They would have control, you would think, if you're getting, because I've looked into getting patents for some of my products, and that's really not a good idea.
Well, the way the land, when you say land patent, it's a sandwich, and even as like the legal wise, they don't know how to unpack it.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't know how to even get through it. They're like, oh, well, we gave it to Mr. Jones, and
Well, yeah.
it's his
tax
now.
code.
There's also ways
do with it?
around,
Yeah.
and I mean, if you want to, I mean, I don't know if it would be deceptive. I don't know what you do in your home, but if you have some type of a ministry in your home, you can. There's classes out here that will teach you how to put your property under a certain classification where you don't pay property taxes anymore. And you know what? They beat us all the time, so why not?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds to me like we got a homework assignment, y'all.
The
Yes,
rich,
we
the
do.
rich have been doing it for how long? They know how to work
Right?
the
Yeah.
system.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. You
Yeah.
work the system.
Right.
They work against us. They have our whole lives.
Well, once that starts happening, you'll be seeing some legislation dropped in the state saying,
Oh, yeah.
you can't do that.
For sure. Okay, Betty says, avoid unnecessary shots. Amen, sister. Absolutely. All right, Antonio, good to have you this evening. War Room Gwinnett County says, now the tax courts make sense. These courts will be used more as a collection arm. They know taxes will skyrocket, and they need to shake the people down.
Yep.
Amen. We are not finished with the tax court. Lord willing, sometime early January, I will have a report released, and we'll be able to talk more about it. So I'm working on 3 special reports right now. Good, juicy stuff, but just got to get them finished. Blake says, replying to Jeff Thompson, good to have you, Blake Ellsbury. He says, what's up to Jeff Thompson? All right, Jeff Thompson must have been here. Good to see you, Jeff. Christopher raises 2024, the year of making good money but still being broke.
Yeah.
Sandra Smith Beard, and I told my daughter to bury me in the backyard, so no more taxes.
I
So.
hear you.
Amen to that. Jeff says, enjoying the show. I'm glad you are, Jeff. It's nice to see you, sir. Fair tax, absolutely. Corporations could fund it. Coca-Cola could be on the hook. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do taxes. I'm hoping that Trump makes it a top priority to straighten out some of these taxes, because I know my priority in the state is going to be raising concern about it. IRS agents have been found out not paying their taxes 100%. Let's see. Property values are not tracked the same rates. Correct. Barbara Hambrick. Well, good. Hey, Mom. Merry Christmas. Says school tax is the majority of our taxes. What about the elderly? Well, obviously, there should be. I know that there are certain cutoffs, but like in the state of Alabama, once you're a certain age, you don't pay
65.
anymore. Is it 65?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
brother.
Why? What in the crap is going on in Georgia?
Yeah.
We've got to stop
Rhinos.
this. We've got to stop
I
this.
mean,
What is
we're
it?
Republican
75?
controlled.
Republican control, for God's sake.
It's
This is-
75 here.
God
Is
mercy.
it really?
Yeah, it's way,
Yeah, because see, I
way
know
later than
I didn't even know we
Alabama.
had it, so.
my father, he's 81.
I don't
and,
even know if it's a full.
Well, there's a process that you had to go through. We went through it this year with my dad. And do you know that it doesn't start when you find out about it, when you find out, like, even though we did it this year, it doesn't start till next year.
Right. Yeah, if you're
Right.
75 and you don't,
It's not an
you're
automatic
like, oh, I'm
thing.
75, it's going to happen. No, you got to file.
You have to file
Right.
for it. It's
You
not
gotta
an
file.
automatic. They don't send
Right.
you a letter in
Yeah,
the
and
mail.
they don't let you know that,
No.
that this is an option for you either.
In
No.
Alabama, it's just a thing.
Yeah.
I was
Oh, I
talking to my
know.
brother, he's
Right,
just
when
like,
you
no,
turn
yeah,
75, 65, it just
yeah,
happens.
the
Crazy.
property wise, he's just not
Yeah.
paid anymore. So,
I can assure you, Mom, we're gonna find some answers at the Gold Dome at some point.
Yeah.
Let's see. Schools and municipal staff employ 80% of the community jobs, all taxpayer funded. Now, that's an important comment because when you start, a lot of people don't realize, but the school system is the highest. What am I trying to say? It's the largest
Percentage.
employer of every
Yeah.
county. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Your school system is the largest employer in every county in pretty much the country. So why do you think they have a separate millage rate? Literally, they employ more people. That's something to think about when you're talking about all this stuff, because that brings it into a whole different perspective.
Right.
Like, why all this stuff is making it to that like level of a whole different property tax and millage rate? It's because they employ all the people. So
Yeah, I think like 76% of my taxes
it's probably him in there. Yeah.
was just for education.
Right, and there it is. So 20% of the working class fund the other 80. Well, there you go. Yeah, that property taxes are the brunt of what pays for schools.
Yeah.
The tax hike, David, the tax hike is nothing short of extortion. It really is. At a certain point, it becomes extortion, and that's where we're at. And we have to get them to recognize that. Doge is going to expose all the waste. We certainly hope so. And so many lies told in the name of kids.
Yeah.
There we go there.
Great comment.
Yes. Sandra says the school tax hikes are going to the administrators, not the kids. There's a lot of proof into that.
Yeah.
And there's charts. We've seen all the charts, right? I mean,
Sure.
this whole lie about it being, you're going to hurt the children. No. It's BS. And let's shut up. David says fluoride is just another form of population control. Well, evidently so. When you start digging into fluoride and realize that it's actually a byproduct that, like so many other byproducts, they just start putting them in things to see if it works and with the chemical compounds and the fact that we don't need it anywhere in the water. and this stupid argument about, oh, it's in there to protect your kids' teeth. Bull crap. They're drinking Mountain Dews and
Drinking Kool-Aid,
yeah,
for God's sake.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
not drinking no freaking
It's
water.
rotting their
Don't
teeth
give me
out.
that crap, okay? Christopher says, "Will you hear someone say for the kids it's all smoke and screens?" Yes. Let's see. We can't figure out where cancer comes from. Did you know that Russia supposedly made a breakthrough last week on some kind of, I don't know if it's a medication or something that actually kills cancer? Like kills cancer. And
Oh, it was a vaccine.
was it a vaccine? I can't remember. It was something like that. But the
they're
report was all like, look at what
supposedly-
Russia's over here doing. The big bad boogeyman is over here trying to cure cancer. Yeah, we're still just polluting our food and our water systems and PFAS and everything else.
Keeping the cancer going.
Yeah. All right. Betty says maybe Trump and his administration will do away with the IRS and Department of Education. Gluttonous agencies promoting themselves regardless of the Constitution.
Yeah.
Amen. I like Betty.
Betty's on fire. I can
She's
say that
on-
right now.
I
She's-
told y'all I was born for this. It's her fault.
Chris says he's going to
You
end the
didn't have a
Fed.
choice.
No, I didn't have
We
a choice
certainly
in the
hope the Fed gets ended. Absolutely. They've killed jobs in the economy. Tuskegee, man, he's bringing up some good stuff. CIA, MK Ultra.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I got you there.
Cool.
I sure hope he does cut out the wasteful departments and endless government jobs. 88,000 new IRS agents, baloney. Yeah, I hope he fires them and shuts them down. Absolutely. So, it says Wuhan was an accident. China still hasn't recovered. Well, yeah, that report that came out, and I can't get into it now, but it's pretty damning about what we all knew from the very beginning. They're just like, well, here it is,
Wait, you mean it wasn't from a wet market?
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
That's flying around.
God. Let's see. All right, I'm going to have to come down. I got so many comments, guys. The drones are
good.
coming. I'm going to do a separate report on that. We're not going to go into that tonight, but if you've seen the video, I'm going to sum it up. But let's see. Becca Adler, good to see you tonight. Thank you for hanging out. Michael Proctor, good to have you. Biden and Kamala signed our sovereignty over to the UN. That's a huge one. We've been covering that this year. Jennifer, you remember the year before when we were trying to get on that Zoom call all about that. They have been trying to sign over our sovereignty to the UN, and something we can't get into tonight. And thank you for bringing it up, Michael, but there's a lot to unpack there. I haven't seen where they've actually signed it. I know that, what was it?
It was supposed
back
to be
in
May of last year.
It was supposed to be May of last year, but then November they went to a week-long conference in one of those places, Copenhagen or something, and I hadn't heard anything else. But
I think
haven't
it
heard
backfired
either.
from there.
yes, I think it did, but who knows what's going to happen in the next
See,
week.
that was
so.
supposed to be another big conspiracy theory.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, people, wake up.
Yeah.
These things that you keep writing off as conspiracy theories.
Yes.
At least try to research it before you just write it off.
Yeah.
I mean,
Read
my
an article or
goodness.
two.
Yeah.
Stop reading the headline and get it.
Yeah, and stop listening to CNN and Fox.
I know.
Especially from retired CIA or CIA
Right.
agents. and
That's
stuff
right.
That are telling us what's going on. I ought to listen to
100%.
them guys.
Sharon Holland, always a pleasure to have you. Sharon, she watches me every week. I love her to death. She's one of my biggest supporters. Thank you, Sharon. Chris says Fauci was suppressing the truth and disseminating lies. Absolutely. It says, David says, we will be without a speaker on the 3rd. Therefore, who will be there to confirm Trump? Don't get cozy. So, I don't know about that one. I'll have to research that one. Limp Kemp is anti-Trump. I think we know that he is too. So yeah, shout out to the Tea Party Patriots. Let's see. Barbara says, kudos to all your hard work in getting the truth out and getting Trump elected. Yeah, well, it wasn't just me; it was a whole lot of people. So
Yeah.
Christopher says the Georgia GOP did nothing to support Trump. That's a mixed bag there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
I can't agree with that, Chris.
Maybe maybe not the elected officials, but
Right.
the
The-
GOP
right.
Yes.
people,
Yes.
your fellow citizens
Right.
did.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a
We
mixed
knocked-
bag.
I knocked on a lot of doors. for
That's
the
right.
Georgia
I got to
area.
give
Right.
credit where
A
the
lot
credit's
of-
due.
A lot
Mm-hmm.
of Georgia Republicans got out
They
and
did.
really
Yeah.
hustled hard.
Yes.
They did. I'll have to say they did better than I ever thought they would, and a lot of people got involved through the GOP, and that's why I can't sit there and
Right.
say that they didn't, because we've got so many good people that have come into the fold just
Yes.
by that. So
Exactly. A lot of grassroots people are involved in
Yeah.
the Republican Party in Georgia now, so you
Yes.
can't really say that. Now, if you want to talk about elected officials, that's
Right.
a different story.
Yeah.
that's true. So Becca says, replying to Michael Proctor, we are in a third world country. It certainly feels
I
like
mean,
it.
they moved the third world here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they did.
They did. Sharon
Perfect
Holland,
point.
that was a win too. We didn't talk about that. Whitfield County is red. We proved it this election with our new Republican sheriff. That's right.
Yeah.
They got their new Republican
That was
sheriff.
awesome.
Where's Lisa?
I don't know. I didn't get to talk to her today. So, but yeah, Whitfield County, they come in with a victory right there. They got out like a 30-something year sheriff.
Yeah.
That was great. Chris says Zuck Bentha needed Trump. He's definitely trying to. He's doing some bootlicking. You know,
He's doing something.
I want him to put his money where his mouth is. Okay, then free Facebook back up, you idiot, and,
Yeah.
and quit this
Right.
crap if you know. Ugh. Let's see
I mean, I
here.
don't know. I haven't gotten any strikes since he had that visit.
Ain't that weird?
I haven't gotten any strikes.
There's
Think
Michael
about that
Proctor.
later.
We didn't cover this weather modification LLC. Now that's another conspiracy, right? That pretty much got completely debunked this year. You can no longer say it's a conspiracy, right?
Right.
A
They
theory.
literally came out. I don't care about
It's a
the
conspiracy, but it's just
well, the
not
hurricane,
just a
right?
theory.
They used the hurricane to group all this stuff up, but then they had to admit, well, we've been doing weather modification. We've been doing it for decades,
Yeah,
and
and
now,
it's a grand thing. Just learn to embrace it.
yes. And it's like, that's all we've been saying, man. I'm not going to sit here and tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that that hurricane was manipulated, but we know now that you're doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. Okay. So Crook's media coverage was trash. It only showed a dozen failures. Oh, yeah. That was the assassination attempt. So, our friends doing a helicopter drop in North Carolina that haven't been recognized by any media. Meanwhile, they've been blocked by FEMA.
Yeah.
We've got TruthStream Media. Anybody out there? Well, I shared some links before, but there's a lot of good people that are trying to document that you're not going to see on the news. So, and a lot of good people going to North Carolina every single week. So,
Yeah.
let's see here.
Yeah, we had one out of our GOP that went. Dave, and he went up there to help.
30%. Let me see.
It's really
JD.
sad that the media is ignoring that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our own people. The same way they did Hawaii. I mean, they just swept that away, and they're not telling anything of what's happening to the Hawaiians over there. And you know,
Right.
they are
Or their
Americans.
land.
Yeah,
see
they are
here.
Americans.
You know.
So
I mean-
Richard Schroeder, good to have you tonight. So SEB meeting on January 13th, be there or be square. So the SEB meeting, if I'm not mistaken, I think January the 13th is the opening day of legislation. So I know I'm going to be down there. So I've already taken a vacation day. So I'm going to try to rally up some people. There's a few of us going down, and we're going to take our equipment, and we're going to be videoing. I'm going to ask a series of questions to every legislator I run across, and we're going to start nailing these people to the wall and find out where they stand on things. So I'll have another video coming out about that, but be looking for that. I encourage anybody out there to go down to the Capitol on open day legislation. I went last year, and I didn't know what I was doing. And not only did I have a fantastic day and met some wonderful people, but these Republicans couldn't even believe that we were actually questioning them. You know,
Yeah.
they thought that we were like bought and paid for by some, NGO, and we're
Yeah.
like, man, I took the day off and just came down here. You
Yeah.
know, that's what you gotta. It's what it takes. That's what it takes. So good to have you, Richard. Let's see. I don't trust. Okay, let me. Yeah, there's a lot. Jury's still out on Elon and N. I mean, they're doing great things. I'm just saying we shouldn't be putting our faith and trust in any of these people until we see results.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know,
Proof's in the pudding.
I'm not. I'm using X. I like Elon, but show me the money.
I mean, at this point, you should have a healthy distrust for pretty much
Yes,
everybody.
for everybody,
You know?
especially the ones that are saying they're
All the right
they're
things,
singing your
yeah.
tune
Yeah.
after not singing it. So I'm hoping,
Right.
hey, you got on the level, you see where it's at. I mean, he did come out with the Twitter files that blew my mind. That's what he did.
Right.
He went in debt, and the Twitter files blew my freaking mind.
Yeah.
And since then, he's been on the level, right? So I'm supporting him. Richard says, still 248 Trump patriots locked up in January 6th. That has to end. If
Absolutely.
on the first day, if Trump's not pardoning these guys, there's going to be hell to pay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I said that, but that's one of those. Put your money. Get these. Anybody that referred to January 6th as insurrection, you need to go ahead and say a prayer to be forgiven. You need to publicly apologize that you even called it insurrection. It was not an insurrection, and shame on you for using that word. It
Right.
was not an insurrection, and we've proven it over the last
Right.
4 years.
Agreed.
So,
Repeatedly.
Dorothy, good to see you,
Those guys
Dorothy
should be
Michelle,
turned loose now.
Yeah.
and
Those guys should
Richard.
be turned loose.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
I mean,
Some
now
of them
that
hadn't
the
even
videos-
been to court.
Yeah,
No,
now
no.
that the videos are out,
Not even all of them, but enough of them.
right,
You know,
enough to prove, I mean, but the thing is, all those videos that we've seen on the media now, those are the same videos that were on alternative media to begin with
Yeah.
in 2020.
right? And the report, beyond a shadow of a doubt, shows that FBI and police informants
Right.
were there, getting those people in there. They were a
Yes.
part of it.
Dressed up like
Showing the badges.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt,
Exactly.
those are the ones that were
a long time.
instigating into it.
Yeah.
We know this.
They had informants there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
For sure.
Provocateurs.
They're
Yeah.
saying that the FBI wasn't in there, but they had informants. In
That's
there.
right.
Call
That's
it what
right.
you want to, right?
Yeah, really.
Richard, he brings up one. Any thoughts or words about the New York subway burning lady? So, have y'all heard about this one yet?
Oh yeah.
I saw
I
that
have.
video.
New York subway, this poor girl. I don't know exactly the whole story, but this illegal immigrant set this girl on fire and sat there and watched her burn to death in the New York subway.
Fan the
So,
flames, actually.
yes,
In the
fan the
church,
flames.
fan the
Just, I mean, it is.
And there's an officer standing outside of it, probably 10 yards or less, just kind of.
Yeah, it's.
I don't
What's going
understand
on?
how she was standing there on fire like that anyway.
She was sitting, from what I understand, like he got up, grabbed the rail, got a hold, and just kind of.
I mean, if you're on fire,
She may have
Oh,
went
she
into
was
like
in-
shock or something. I don't know. I don't know how it works.
that was just wild because I was looking at him like, why is she not?
And see, I haven't seen the video
Stop,
yet.
drop,
But
and
yeah,
roll.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
why
you're
she not
trying to
rolling?
lock up Penny.
Oh, I know that Penny guy. Yeah,
I'm like, this isn't this clown world.
this is
Yeah.
more clown world that we have.
Welcome to the upside down.
Our mind is having to break down. Like our mind is made to learn math and learn how to read. And when you try to disseminate this, how it makes sense, your mind automatically like gets confused. Like
Pretty
it's
sure the
it's
Bible talks
insane.
about this.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Richard, I thank you for bringing that up. Our thoughts, of course, prayers, anything that we can be, is for that poor girl and her family, and praying every day that cannot wait for this inauguration so we can stop some of this demonic plague in this country.
Yeah.
I mean, God have mercy. So let's see. Betty says, just saw headlines saying Elon has released Epstein's list. Scorched earth, perhaps. Lord, I'm gonna be checking Twitter as soon as I get off of here. Then, yeah. And by the way, if you have it, go ahead and send me the links right now because I want to see it. Let's see. My Chris says I want the Hunter laptop. Actually, well, you can get it. The guy that the Marco Polo. You know, if anybody doesn't know this,
Yeah.
Marco Polo, they actually, I think it's like $20. You can get the entire PDF of the whole Hunter Biden laptop from start to finish, like the entire thing. There's a website
Yeah.
you can go to.
Yeah, it's got all the information
You
and
give them
stuff
like
on it.
20
How did I
bucks.
miss this?
You give them like $20 there. I can try to post the link, guys, but you give them $20, they'll give you the entire thing, and they'll go in there and blot out all the obscenities and stuff, the pictures, but they get the whole thing start to finish, just like a
What's
wiki
his
link.
name? I met him last year.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, if you get his laptop though, you might ought to wash your hands.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
His name.
Yeah.
Michael Proctor says
Second.
Biden is flying them in 24/7 through the Omni Air. Now, I'm assume he's referring to drones. So, yet again,
Garrett Ziegler.
Derek Ziegler. That's it. Go find
Garrett.
Derek Ziegler, Chris, online, and you can get the entire laptop thing. Yeah,
Oh, right
drones.
Here it is.
I've had too many people talk to me about drones last week, so I will be doing a special report about that. You're not going to learn anything new, but I'll give you a little bit of insight. Let's see. Antonio says, show is great. Thank you. Chris says, legit, thank you for giving us a platform. It's my pleasure. You guys are the one. Y'all are here supporting us, so it's the other way around. We thank you. Thank you, Dorothy. Appreciate you. Dump Dominion. Amen. That's something we got to get on.
Oh,
on
amen.
Big time. We're not going to forget, Richard.
Oh,
We're-
yes, Richard. We need to dump Dominion. That's a good campaign slogan.
That's right.
Yes.
Let's see. David says, absolutely agree with Jennifer. No matter what level or status, you should be doing your job and held accountable. Amen. Let's see
I mean,
here.
they should fear us, honestly. Not, fear that we're going to come
Yes.
physically harm them, but they should fear the people.
They should.
And they don't.
Nope.
I will tell you this.
Just
They
opposite.
dang sure don't fear the people. But what I've seen in the last year, where you went, like I go back from January, going down to the Capitol with people I didn't know, showing up, just meeting people and walking through that day filming. All right, and I probably only got like 30 views on that thing. This is like a year ago. From then till where we're at now, I can tell you one, they don't fear us, but they dang sure know we're here now.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they know we're here. They know we're here. They know what we're doing, and I think they don't fear us, but they fear the future
Right.
because we have made
Strides.
huge changes and strides. And these people are more energized, more focused now than ever. I'm tell you,
Yes.
I can't spill any beans now, but the conversation I've had in the last month, I get cold chills thinking about it. Thinking about people who called me and told me the same thing that I was thinking. So you may not fear us, but the future, it's going to be different. I can promise you. So,
Amen.
and I can't wait for all of us to be there to see this
Yeah.
happen. So.
There you go.
Let's see here. Hardy Strongbear Taylor, good to have you with us this evening, man. Appreciate you. Mike Dean Tiles, love you, Mike. He says we're great, thank you. And good, we got a John Burns write him to support Janelle King on the SEB. All right, we need to get Richard on and give us an election integrity update too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here, teachers. Let's see. There's so many good comments, guys. I'm having to just kind of go through some of them. Let's see. CJ. Okay. I can't see all of them either, guys. So let's see. Here was one from Richard. Commit to your church safety team and learn active shooter training from your local LEO. Yeah, it's funny. Churches now are taking this seriously, but we can't get our government to take it seriously in our schools.
I watched
Yeah.
several
You try to go to your
podcasts, that's what they
freaking
do.
church, I guarantee you ain't going to find a church around here that's not armed and ready
That's
for any
right.
of this.
And
So,
that same bill that made it legal to carry in churches made it legal to carry in schools.
that's right. That's right. So let's see.
Depending on the school board.
Follow the money, Chris says, always. Soros funds these organizations. Yes, absolutely. Let's see. So many good ones, but we're
Yeah.
going to have to wrap it up here soon. So says Dorothy says y'all are great, good speakers, and I agree with that. Culture, evil battle going on, absolutely. Chris says January 6th, the people screaming no more. Amen. Civil War started 4 years ago. It's just a different game. That's right.
I call it a
King of the world.
soft-
King of the world.
Yeah, there
I
you
don't know.
go.
We'll see. We'll keep that king in check too. So, Hardy says he totally agrees with you, Jennifer. Let's see.
Hey, Hardy.
He did Rogan because Barron told him to. Yeah, he did a lot of good social media for this. I mean, God, Kamala Harris, she couldn't even. I don't even want to think about that woman tonight.
Oh, it
So
made my stomach hurt. Why'd you do that?
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
I thought we were done with that.
I was hungry now, lost my
I know.
appetite.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
I'm
Ooh,
getting hungry, too.
Richard Schroeder says, "I hope Kemp goes to prison." Oh,
I hope Kim
like
does
it.
go to prison.
That's
I wanna
spicy.
see
Like it, like it.
I want to
I'm
see
getting down
it
with that.
put in front of all these people who have said, "Oh, you've got to support Kim." No, I don't have to support Brian Kemp, and I want to
Yeah.
see justice served against him.
Now, I think Richard and Betty are now tied for top spot of comments. All right. Anyway, all right. Let's see here. Conservative.
I had something I was going to ask y'all.
Sure.
The H1N1,
Mm-hmm.
bird flus. We had with California, right? Oh, it's all of a sudden, it's a state of emergency.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started thinking, I was like, I wonder if they're still selling wild game hunting license for birds, and they are, but yet the birds are the ones that are supposed to be transmitting the H1N1. but yet you can still go hunt geese and stuff. I look at the licensing like, well, I can still go apply and I can hunt these wild
Yeah.
birds. And why aren't we finding them dead everywhere?
Right.
I'm really confused here.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you got to remember COVID. So remember, you couldn't, if you, as long as you were 6 feet apart, if you were 5'9" or 5'8" inches close, you caught COVID, right? Now you couldn't go down to your church or your local hardware store, right? But if you went there, you caught COVID. But if you went to Walmart, well, COVID
you
didn't
were
exist
fine
at
at
Walmart, right?
Nope.
In fact, if you ever, that's how I caught COVID when they had the arrows on the the aisles. I went down
You went
the
the
wrong
wrong way.
way, and
And you
dang
got
it, I caught
COVID.
COVID.
Boy.
So I know I wasn't following protocol. Jesus, I mean,
You're within
I
the
know.
6 foot range there.
stupid me. So let's see. He says 2025, my crypto going to skyrocket. Well, I hope so. If you got crypto, I should have been on that. Hardy says, yes, I'm looking for cheaper gas and groceries, prices go down. Amen. Let's see here.
We hope.
I hate skipping everybody's comments, but we got to wrap it up. Elon is a genius. I can't imagine what he could do to Doge. If he does half of what he's saying he's going to do, I'm all in. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
David says, your ending comment's spot on. I have faith in my community and don't think it will hit home, but I do think things are going to get crazy. Well, like I said, we're just going to have to roll with it and see. So, Andy Soha, good to see you. He says, I'm building a bunker in 2024 just in case. Lord, I hear you. I wish I could. Hardy says, I'm locked and loaded and ready for him. Amen.
There you go,
That's the way
Hardy.
you got to
That's
be. So, says, give it all to our Creator. That's exactly right. Oh, that was the game Spy Hunter.
Yes, 500. Thanks, David.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
I love that game, man.
That was it.
Thank you, Hardy. He said we're all awesome. I appreciate it. You're awesome for being here with us. Richard says Hebrews 10:14. Use discernment. Amen. And wow, Christina Benjamin, good to have you with us. This was with 225 comments, y'all. So
Wow.
wow,
Talkative bunch.
a lot of good ones. So
Yeah, great
let's
comments.
see. Hardy says the biggest thing that bothers me is we have children that can't afford lunches, and if they can't pay, they don't eat.
Yeah.
But prisoners get their meals
Right.
free. Hey, I got something positive for Georgia this year. All lunches are free in this county.
Yeah.
I think Catoosa County. I think all three of our counties. Okay. So all the lunches are free in schools. They didn't have to pay for lunches this year. That's a good thing. That's a positive thing. So we can throw out there, despite all the
Should
crap.
never have to pay for
They
it.
shouldn't.
Because
I
really,
homeschool,
if you-
so
Well, you need to be taking advantage of
should I
that.
go up there and drive the kids through the city?
They got
That's-
the, well, they got the
See if you can do
tax
something
incentives
about
for
that.
you.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's something you need to look into.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
But,
is.
hey, I wanted to be positive. We're not all doom and gloom. My kids'
right.
lunches are free, so
Hey.
Let's see. Blake says resolution for all patrons 2025: educate yourself on how your local state government operates, the regulations they must follow, and get involved in constructive conversations.
Amen, Blake.
Dang,
That's right.
that's definitely a runner up there. So let's see. Georgia Republicans showed up big time early voting. Yes, they did. Says make an event on Facebook. Maybe I should. I know I'm still illiterate sometimes when it comes to all this, but thank you, Hardy. Let's see. I was for Kemp until he sold us out to China. So I think a lot of us were,
Yeah.
Hardy. So
We
Man.
voted for him because we didn't have a choice.
that's right. So look, I wanted to end this at 2. Y'all have been so gracious to stay with me this long, and man, thank y'all all out there for the comments and hanging out. So we're going to do final words. I'm going to start around the table. Just take a minute or so. What's your final thought?
My final thought is trust God.
Amen.
Trust God. And, don't worry about it. Don't fear anything. Whatever comes, comes. We were worried about the financial crisis and stuff where we were having, the inflation and all that. But for some reason, and I know what reason that is, my bills are always paid.
That's right.
And I give that to the Lord. And I want to see also if you have any entrepreneurs out there that they get kick-started the start of the year. And, if you have a dream, go for it. Do something that you like to do. And, I've got my own business too, so, I love doing it. I kind of made a breakthrough tonight, which was awesome. I've
Yes.
been working on this for 3 years. So this one little part, this one little item, I've worked on for 3 solid years. So don't give up hope. You know, always put your trust in God, put your trust in Jesus, and He'll help you through. I promise you.
Amen, man.
That's all I got.
Man, how do I follow that?
Right.
That's spot on. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. I don't know. I'm the same thing. You got to put your trust in Him. If you don't, you know, bring your family up in Him too the right way.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Amen.
Definitely. Definitely. Man, Nikki.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. I don't know how you
How do
go
you follow
behind
that?
that. I
You
mean,
can't. If you're a believer,
try to
you
find
do
some
that.
happiness. You know,
Yes.
don't let all this stuff just bog you down all the time. We're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Put your faith in God, and we're going to be okay.
That's right.
Yep.
I
I
mean,
wanna-
God moved, and you know, I don't care what anybody says. We were up against a huge machine,
Yeah.
you know, and God moved and honored our prayers. You know, we're kind of in a Nineveh moment. We have to stay the course and follow through. We can't just fall back on the couch and watch football forever.
right.
You know, I mean, come on.
Amen, sister. You're on it.
You have to keep going.
I like
We-
the
we
Nineveh
can't-
statement too.
Yeah, we can't. We have to keep going. We have to stay the
Yeah.
course, and,
Agreed.
and we have to. We have no
Absolutely.
choice.
What
You
about
know-
you, Roy?
I can tell you this much. If you've seen the Super Bowl that comes out in February, playoff, anything, you look at 50,000 people in a stadium. If you had 50,000 people that showed up to the Capitol and said, we want
Yes.
Dominion gone,
Dominion
guess what?
would be gone.
Dominion would be
That's
absolutely
exactly right, man.
gone.
That's-
Yep.
drives me nuts.
Again,
I'm
Slow
so
and
tired
steady
of the
wins the race.
Entertainment. Keep them entertained, and
yep.
they'll
Brandon
never.
Circus.
You are never,
Circus.
you're never
That's
gonna,
it.
you're never gonna get things fixed yesterday, and you're never gonna get things the way you want it. I challenge everybody out here to find a purpose in this fight. No, there's nothing too big and nothing too small, but the time of sitting around and not being involved is over. It's been over. You must find, whether it's your GOP or a chapter of an organization or just calling somebody up and supporting them, finding ways to bring people together. It's never going to change this machine until we make that change. And we cannot do it with the same 10 people, the same 15 people. We've got to have new faces. So I challenge everybody. Like I said, you know, an army of 50,000 people, you could get everything fixed right then and there, and that's the only way you're going to do it. Other than that, it's going to be a slow crawl, and you cannot stop. And the same thing with these two. With Jonathan, it's a serenity prayer. It's you trust in God. I'm not worried about nuclear annihilation. I'm not worried about this gaslighting. I'm definitely not worried about these little echoes of, oh, they're coming for the Patriots. Make my day, because the fear tactics aren't working anymore.
Yeah.
Holding the nose isn't working anymore, and business as usual is over.
Amen.
All right, as long as I'm here. I've gotten educated enough to know that I shouldn't have to ever hold my nose anymore.
Right.
Also, I want to just clarify that with responsibility comes that we're not going to get 100% of what we want, right? So
Right.
there's your discernment, like Hardy said. We've got to be able to discern what we can get to the fullest, right? We can't just cut everybody off because that we don't like them 100%. We've got to figure out how can we unify against our people
Right.
that are going to represent us to the best of our ability. We're all human, right?
Yep.
So I struggle with that myself, right? But that's my challenge as 2025 is get involved, get some skin in the game, and let's make a really, really big difference, because we are chipping away at this machine, y'all.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it. And I get reached out to people more and more every day. I know y'all do too. And it's a good thing, because I'm not up here, what did Ray say earlier? I'm not up here for me. It's never been about me. It's never been about any of us. It's all of us together, collectively,
Right.
right? It's about our communities. And I don't know about you guys. I'm sure you see it, but look at the growth that's happening in all of our communities now. And I'm starting to look at these roads going, these roads were not designed for this kind of growth. Like, where's all this coming
Yeah.
from, right?
Yep.
There's your local politics. You got to get involved and figure out where is this push coming from? Where is all these? How are these dominoes falling? These are the things where you get involved locally. Whether it's going to a meeting once a month, you got to get up and get involved. So
Absolutely. Because you eat an elephant one bite at a time.
That's
You know,
right.
it's not just the GOP. You can, when you get these text messages and you get these emails from your friends who are trying to get you to sign this petition and send this email to your legislator and make this phone call, take a few minutes and do it.
that's right.
I mean,
It just takes a few minutes.
yeah.
That's
Even
right.
if it's just sending an email, do it.
Exactly. How can that hurt? That's the laziest form of
Right. It's
activism
so
you can do.
easy.
Just like wearing a T-shirt. Luke Rudowski says that it's the laziest form of activism, but it works. Wearing a T-shirt.
Right.
I walk into the store with this T-shirt on, and I get 5 people. I love that shirt. There you go.
Right.
All right, go get you one. Let them know you're gonna fight.
That's right.
So, well, listen, I love all of you guys. And I love
Same
everybody
here.
out there, and I send my love and my prayers to everybody. Thank y'all so much for a wonderful 2024. I'm blessed beyond measure, and I couldn't do any of this without you or God directly, and I appreciate it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to sign off. We've been 2 hours and 20 minutes, so it's been,
Wow.
it's
Been
been
2 hours and 20 minutes?
Hey, time flies. You're having fun.
Wow.
All you out there, anybody that would like to support the show, you can go to givesendgo.com/smalltownunderground. That's the only link I have, and it goes all to the show. And we will be doing a breakdown of my tinfoil hat drones we saw the other night, as well as we've got a jam-packed January. We got so many people that are going to be coming on the show. I don't know how I'm going to get through this, but I cannot wait. So we're going to hit the ground running in January. And I hope everybody out there has a great evening, and we'll see you soon.
Legislature legalized unverifiable voting in 2000.
Like you said to Trump, but they're getting beauty. They
He said, go out there and rob these houses and bring back the bounty, and then that'll pay your way.
Because Republicans who get endorsement from Georgia areas that they mean anything.
You can't sit on the sidelines any longer. You must get involved in the game. This is your sign.